Well, we're on now.
Oh, fuck! I've got no time to do. Wait, so are we actually just live now?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, okay. Mate, YouTube streaming is a fucking
Start as you mean to go on like an hour.
Anyway, welcome to the Tavern podcast.
Oh, don't mind that.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got Josh remoted in here. We've got we've got me, we've got Kaif, we've got Rob. We also, not on camera, have Ebbs and Remy, who are sat there listening along as well. But yeah, we're live. This is the episode where we go fucking crazy talking about conspiracy theories, and I'm very much looking forward to it. We've got
I'm all about it.
A whole host of. Both Rob and Josh are very deep in the rabbit hole for these.
Can't wait. Cannot wait.
This was the main reason I wanted to do this, is I wanted to sit here and listen to the both of them talk about conspiracy theories that they're wild on. Should we start with the other ones? We'll start with tame ones first. We'll start with, the moon landing. So that's the most popular one.
Do we believe the moon landing happened?
Yeah. Do you believe it happened?
Yeah.
Do you actually think it landed?
Yeah, you dumbass.
Do you believe? Hey, there is so many people out there who believe it isn't real and believe it's all fake, and they don't actually believe it happened.
I think this one is a done deal. Like, I feel like the actual idea that people think that it didn't happen just fries me. Like,
I mean, I was going to say the only thing, right, that gives it any type of credibility, right, isn't the fact that I believe we 100% landed the moon. They cannot sit and deny this. I don't think there's any way denying it, right?
You don't even think that the flag waving is with us?
There's explanations. There is solar winds and stuff like that.
There's that, right? But the flag still follows its own physics.
Yeah.
So it's not wind, but like you always have forces present on you, and it's just parts of the flag that are moving, affecting the rest of the flags, causing it to look like it's waving. It's just force.
You don't think it was filmed in Area 51?
the arguments for me that it was recorded. And like the recordings you see of like someone still on the moon is just like taking off and stuff, and they're obviously like reconstructions of what actually happened. But people are like, well, who was left there, man? Who was running the cameras? Like, you're a fucking dumbass. Like, what are you even saying right now? So I love those people. I absolutely love those.
Like, honestly, right? Hi, Remy. The only thing that I think people latch on to is I do firmly believe that America did need to beat Russia to the moon, and I think that's what they try to latch on to. Well, it's so important that America landed first to dominate, but in the end of the day, how can you deny it? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you can't just magically pretend you sent a space rocket. Millions of people watched it. There was people at Kennedy Space Center or wherever it is watching it live go up. So how can they not believe it's real?
What I want is for every all of us and everybody who's watching to remember this moment when we're talking about other conspiracy theories. And Rob's so convinced they're real. Just remember this moment where Rob's like, it's obvious.
The worst part is, right, as we get older, and everyone in chat, as you get older, this is going to shock you, but some of the younger people have been blown away by learning that World War II happened.
Oh, God, yeah.
And that's going to happen as you get older.
That was a conspiracy theory.
Oh, mate, that's not even worse. Have you ever heard the conspiracy theory that the medieval times weren't there and we lost like 400 years that magically appeared in history books? They actually think in the 16th century or something.
It sounds like One Piece with a void century. Like,
mate,
it's like, oh, it's just gone from history. Like, what the fuck?
Boys, we're going One Piece theory now. Like, you know.
Well, when I was looking her up, because I thought I'll read up a couple of things on each of them. One of the guys who wrote a book on the moon landing started it as satire. And by the time he finished the book, he fully believed the conspiracy theory. Like, he was so convinced by it. He was like, yeah, this
He's
is...
gone in deep.
Yeah,
like.
he went so deep. He was like, he's it. Yeah, it's wild. They did a survey. I was telling everyone earlier. They did a survey in the 70s, and 30% of Americans believed it was fake. And that was short. Like, wasn't it like the 60s that it actually happened? So like, not even 10 years after, they believed it was fake.
Why do American people, and I'm not this an attack American, right? Why do they want to rubbish something that they did? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? I don't understand why you, as like a country, you did an amazing thing landing on the moon, and a lot of them just want to believe like America never landed on the moon. It's crazy to me. I mean, what is it? India just landed a
Yeah,
probe
they
on the
literally
South
did.
Pole.
There is a lot
Yeah.
of basically, probes and stuff on the moon. There's loads of them. I think India got the
sure? Have you
first. You
seen
got. Oh, that's who knows. But India's the first one to get it on the South Pole, which was that's where there's Hi, Remy. That's where like ice and water is supposed to be present apparently. But the thing is with conspiracy theories, baby, oh no. The thing is with conspiracy theories is that there is a theory of how many people it takes for there to be a whistleblower.
Right.
And I think the number is something like 30 people. That's
What, for
all
one
it
of
takes.
them to...
Yeah,
pull it out?
once you have, say, for example, a lie, once it reaches something like 30 people, it breaks and someone will whistleblow.
Yeah,
that is like the critical mass of it. And there was hundreds who worked on the moon landing.
I want you to remember this bit about the moon landing, though, Keith, right? So I've seen this, and Buzz Aldrin seemingly talked about this when they landed on the moon. Wait till this. The moon, right, rang like a bell when they landed on it. Buzz Aldrin seemingly has said this. I need to find the fact, right?
What are you saying? It's a big gong, like.
No, I mean, this is where I'm going down. Another theory is people think
people
it's
think it's
an
made of
alien
cheese.
satellite that's there to monitor us and see what we're doing. So
Yeah.
the moon isn't real. It's actually because it's perfectly. The thing is, it's perfectly sphere almost like compared to other
But
moons in the solar system, like Phobos and stuff.
It's not perfectly.
No, but I mean,
spherical.
compared to all the other satellite moons around, like Saturn, Mars, our moon is perfect for what it does. That's
Yeah.
the whole thing where it goes down the rabbit hole. Like, oh, the moon's like a satellite watching us.
Yeah, I mean, the Earth is perfectly spherical until you start zooming in, and then you start seeing the
mean,
ridges and stuff.
The moon is actually a satellite. That's
You seen
the
that?
definition for it.
Have you heard
What?
that fact where, like, if you run your like, if there was a massive giant, if they were to run their finger over the Earth, they wouldn't even feel that it had
bumps.
any bumps. They would say it's finer than the most perfect cue ball at a certain distance away. So what a weird process that
But
is
that's
for,
true. That's
for
true.
us to
isn't it?
consider. Like,
That's true.
the highest
because-
point, they're saying that the highest point and the lowest point in Earth are so far apart that by the time they end up actually averaging out, it ends up being a perfect sphere, basically.
That's
That's
so
mad.
weird.
that Neil. Do you know how the Neil Tyson? What do the
DeGrasse
guy-
Tyson.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
him.
he
He's the one
he
who was
said
telling
something
it,
on it.
wasn't it? He was saying like basically it's better than any cue ball we can make. It's how great it is. Like it's insane.
With all the
You've been on
bumps and-
TikTok.
Oh man, my life is TikTok.
He's
at the
living
moment.
on it at the moment. Oh,
I went through a
great.
period a couple of weeks back where I spent literally 3 or 4 hours a night downstairs, sat on the sofa, just going through conspiracy theories on TikTok.
It's addictive.
The dark
isn't it?
hole, man. It's a dark hole.
It's so good. You listen to somebody talk about something so convincingly for long enough, you're like, this makes sense. And then it's Rob talking about it's a fucking alien spacecraft.
I don't believe that. Like I'm just saying. So there's a
rang
Buzz
out when they
Aldrin
landed.
quote seemingly. I need to get it. Like, but seemingly he does say weird things. Like, but I can't believe why people think it's fake. I don't know why people want to think it's fake. But
It's mad, isn't it?
People love conspiracy theories.
what?
They love conspiracy theories. That's why it's so easy to fall into that.
Well, they did a consensus again. So it was 30% of people in the 70s, and then it was 10% 4 years ago. So it's dropped off. And the fact that India landed there literally in the last, like, 2 weeks, something like that, right?
Yeah, I do find it wild though, right? Outside this, why? And I don't understand why we're looking to go to Mars. Like, we haven't landed on the moon in how donkey's years, isn't we not? I don't understand why we don't establish a base on the moon.
It's fucking
As, like-
nothing there on the moon.
No, but what I mean is, like, do you know if you want to get Mars right?
Yeah.
The first thing you do is build an established base on the moon, wouldn't you? To be like, let's go to the moon, establish a base,
And go
that
play
gives us a
football.
hang on how we work on Mars. Like,
it would
you know?
help with slingshotting.
We'll go there. We'll set down some goalposts, play some football, take some pictures, be like,
Yeah,
yeah,
catch
we
how
actually
quickly
did
you
it.
get bored on the moon though. It's like a little bit of low gravity football. Then fucking somebody has a bit of a tiffy. Josh Skyzer is gone.
I'm gonna be honest. If people took a ring and did wrestling on the moon, I'd be in tears. I'd love it. Mate, imagine somebody off the top rope, but off the top rope was like 20 feet in the air,
he's
all
like-
the way down.
He's off the top rope. He's oh shit.
He just never comes back down. I'd love it. That'd be class. All right, we'll move on to one of the other ones, which is more of a UK thing, but it's about Princess Diana, and she died. Yeah, I know. She died like 20 years ago, and there's a huge theory about how she was assassinated. That loads of people believe that is real. Like so many people believe that she was actually killed.
Do you know why I think the only credence it gives to this one, right, is, and I truly and genuinely believe this, because you can use the Meghan Markle example of how a black woman married into the royal family. The whole thing was I don't believe they would have wanted a Muslim person to be part of the royal family.
I mean, they literally asked Meghan if their child was going to be like mixed race.
And that's the only
that was the
thing
craziest timeline I've ever seen. Like,
So she married into the family, right, with Charles, and then they divorced because he cheated on her. And but she was still a princess, and she was going out with an Egyptian.
Dodi Al-Fayed, wasn't it? His name
that
is.
was his name. Yeah, he was I wrote it down. I don't know why I'm trying to remember. It's literally there. He was an Egyptian film producer, and he was planning to propose to her. And they were in a limo together in Paris, leaving the hotel with the head of security of the hotel they were with driving the car, and it was a car accident, and they both died. And that was one of the things, is people were like, because the monarchy is fucking racist. It just is.
Racist and inbred. I mean, what?
I mean, they are inbred.
Yeah,
I think it was just
100%.
an accident. I think the paparazzi were just hounding on them, and obviously the driver stepped it up a bit. Paparazzi like, yeah, we'll match that speed. We'll get this, and then there's an accident, and you could probably bet that the monarchy were probably like, you know what, banging.
I just read a video game. I heard the Princess Diana was a freak in bed. Is this true? I don't know.
So true.
There's a conspiracy theory she's a freak in the bedroom. Andy got any videos of that? Like,
she was the Princess of Wales as well. So it was something
I
that
think
a lot of us
the royalty were probably happy with that outcome. They probably didn't do it, but they're probably like, oh, we're all right with that.
It was an accident, but for them, it was a happy accident.
It was a happy accident for them,
Which is really sad.
People liked it too much.
Well, there was theories of the driver being drunk, of him being paid off by. I'm trying to remember. And
he got paid off to die.
Apparently, he got paid. Apparently, he was on the payroll of a national intelligence service group, and he ended up dying as well. So,
off yourself, we'll give you $1 million.
There's so many holes in these theories. It's wild, but yeah, that's a big one. There's actually a surprisingly large amount of people who believe that she was murdered.
This is the thing, we consider they're always going to latch into the.
It's because the monarchy's evil. It's easy to believe it.
Mm-hmm. It's mad. It was mad, really bad. Okay, so there's one that Josh really wants to talk about, so we're delaying that. We'll talk about it in a bit. I'm going to blue ball him as much as possible. But Rob, you were talking about some blue something.
All right, if people in the chat know
nice
what I'm
segue.
talking, if you're on TikTok recently looking at conspiracy, there is a thing called the Project Bluebeam. So do you know how the American government recently were talking about how they think they've got extraterrestrials, and the guy was in... Was it Congress or something? I don't know what they call it in America.
Recently.
Saying like they've got something non-terrestrial.
It was the one about the spaceships who kept crashing on Earth over and over again. Yeah.
So the theory goes that this is the government are doing this under something called Project Bluebeam, which is they're going to pretend there's an alien invasion, do everything, kill people, whatever. So there'll be one world government, and they take over as one, like maybe like 100 top people running the world going forward.
So every government is in on this conspiracy to make a world government, yeah?
Yeah. As far as I'm aware, that's
a very good thing.
So why, instead of just killing people with a conspiracy, why not all the governments just make the world government?
Because the point of the blue beam is to unite the people of the planet.
Blue beam, if you can't understand.
Yeah, blue beam.
Yeah,
blue beam. Type in Project Blue Beam, but it's to unite the world.
I mean, yeah, people need an enemy, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, all of the governments could go, yeah, we're gonna have a world government in it.
Oh, people are saying, do not Google it. Why?
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 All right. You talk. I'll Google it.
I'm a fucking Google as well. Keep telling us.
How you made us go down, Rob?
We were just starting. I was talking about different ones, and Rob suddenly was like, "I've got." This
I don't
one,
believe
boys."
it. I don't
like,
understand
okay,
how
I
you
can't
could
wait to
fake
hear.
it. Like blue beam. Oh my god! Shut up, Dale. I love blue beans. About his video gamer, cheers for the 50 subs.
Mate, I know he said blue bean. I was like, what the fuck? Oh god! I was like, blue balls, blue bean. Nice segue. No.
Why are people saying not Google it? I mean, is this like people being
everything's
killed for
fine.
this or something? Like?
I just Googled it, and it's Just a conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't believe it. I personally don't believe it. I don't see how you could pretend there's an alien invasion. Like,
it's about.
It's an insane one.
Here's the thing, right? Let's say you try to start a conspiracy theory that involves tricking everyone into thinking there's an alien invasion. There will be people who will make a conspiracy theory about the conspiracy theory. It's not going to work. They'll be like, nah, I think the government's lying to us, man. There ain't no aliens around you. Like no, I don't see it happening. You need people be like, where's the proof? Where's the TikToks?
Have you not seen the TikToks?
Everyone's got a camera in their hand.
Have you not seen the TikToks of the 7-foot aliens that are invading Peru or something at the moment?
What?
Mate, there's actual TikToks of somebody filming.
Fuck?
I think it's Peru. It's 7-foot green aliens invading Peru or something.
That's fucking what
I now know why people are saying don't Google Blue Beam. They weren't talking about Blue Beam. They were talking about blue
waffle.
Yeah. Don't look that one up.
He's got a blue waffle and a blue bean.
Don't look that one up.
There was that one in Nevada as well, isn't there?
Sorry,
there was one in Nevada recently where they caught it on the ring capture as well, and they hear an explosion, like in a spaceship landing and crashing. I know, mate, it's wild. I don't know how people believe it.
What is that supposed to be?
There's one. Have you seen the Simpsons episode where Mr. Bun's glowing and they think it's an alien? That's exactly what it looks like, Sam. It's 100% looks like Mr. Bun's like having all the stuff done to him when he's glowing. That's exactly what it looks like.
It's probably just some guy who's been eating rocks his entire
life.
life.
Are you watching it, Josh?
Looks like Gollum.
No, I don't want to.
Wait, what is this?
Why are you scared?
They've seen somebody who's
somebody
glowing.
filmed a 7-foot giant alien or something like that and glowing
Just
green.
the Big Show glowing dark paint on him.
Wait,
what the
it's the
fuck?
Big Show.
Oh, Christ. The blue waffles and blue beans. Jesus Christ.
I do think blue waffle is a myth, though. Like,
What do you mean? What do you mean it's a myth?
it's a myth,
What do you
mate.
mean by that?
Do you like
Of
blue
all
waffle
the-
stand?
It's like
Mate.
the clitoris stand.
Of all the fucking things I expected to talk about tonight, I did not expect the topic of blue waffle to come up.
Aye.
I've not heard about that since I was in school. That was a good fucking 15 years ago. Like, why?
I don't know. Mate. I don't. That's the chat. They can't understand Scottish. That's not my fault, is it?
Oh my God. So, you mentioned the big glowy man. What's the other one? The one you were talking about
The
before?
one that crash landed in Nevada, seemingly it was captured on a ring camera. You can hear the explosion. There's guys freaking out, running away, saying they're seeing aliens. Somebody's got a clip and somebody's analysed it, says you can see an alien head in a hand going round, all that kind of crap. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You're
if,
not
like,
gonna get
when
that
it
off a
comes
ring
to
cam.
it, like when it comes to it, somehow our amazing phones are all pixely and shit, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Somehow, you know what I mean?
It's not an alien. It's just fucking. It's just shaved head Greg not wearing any clothes and greased himself up.
The thing with ring cams as well is there's a lot of ones out there that like people like using ring cams as a medium for like horror and other things like that
Yeah.
because it just the way it's warped and stuff like that with a ring cam, the lens or whatever lends itself to that more uncanny and sort of creepier looking at. So I could see someone using that.
It's like
as a-
Cloverfield, when the entire film is about, like, through the... What was it?
It's
Was it
handheld,
phone
isn't it?
cameras?
Yeah, the
basically.
cat, like the video caller, like
Yeah, it's
that
weird,
fil-
isn't
that-
it?
the concept of that film was so weirdly good and yet also
Really
terrifying.
shit
like.
as hell. Oh, right,
Yeah. It was up and down. Like some parts you were like, this is amazing. And other parts you're like, this is just really strange.
Yeah, it was a very weird one.
There's so many people making like fan theories about that. Where like the satellite drops in the ocean and like, oh, I know the story now. I got it. I know everything. Like it was just so much weirdness behind it. It's like with FNAF.
Yeah,
They just drip feed you content and people are like, I know it. Boom.
and they figure everything out.
Yeah, this
They're
is the story.
geniuses.
Watch this, boys.
Absolute giga challenge.
Yep.
Okay, all right. We need to. All right, Josh. So I'll tell you what I know about the pyramids and what I looked it up. Because the one
Sam.
you do it. You'll
Hold
do a
on
much
now,
better
mate.
job.
481 feet tall, 2.3 million stones, within 3/60th of a degree of true north. All right. King's Chamber had, I'm not even joking, right? 80-ton granite blocks suspended over 300 feet in the air. How are they doing it, Sam? How are they doing it?
Josh, I want you to
All
get
right.
facts on this, mate.
I'll keep going, mate. I'll keep going, right?
Keep going.
How many sides does
Very
the
little
pyramids have? How many
hieroglyphics.
sides
Hold
does
on.
the pyramid
Whoa,
have?
whoa.
How many
Boat
sides
dog.
does the pyramid have?
Are we talking 8-sided construction?
Damn it, I thought you didn't know that.
This man gonna try and catch me out, brother.
Go
what
on,
are you even
keep
saying?
going.
All right,
Hieroglyphics.
so we're talking. So this is where we start getting down to some of the creepier stuff, right? All right. Very little hieroglyphics found in the entire site, right? So in terms of, we think about ancient Egypt, we're talking hieroglyphics everywhere, right? Very little hieroglyphics found in the entirety of the pyramids of Giza, right? Which is scary in itself, because you think something with such precision, right, would have had umpteen amounts of information kept inside for obvious reasons, okay? And then we're going to go on to one of the big things within the pyramid, right? We're talking Khufu's coffin, right? Now, Khufu's coffin, 3.6 tons in weight, okay? Hollowed from the inside out, right? One solid piece of granite, right? They didn't have the tools to cut granite in that kind of way. Fucking aliens, right? I'm telling you, something's happened. Someone's landed. They built a fucking pyramid and they fucked off.
Mate, it's Anunnaki, what you talking about? Mate, they came from the Nibiru, mate, and they built it for us, like.
All right, Josh. Why the
Yeah.
aliens build it?
No one knows, mate. This is
Oh, fantastic.
No, it's a power
this is where the
conductor.
real conspiracies start.
Josh, the only do you know the only thing that I get on about the pyramids is I think they dated it back with stuff that's found around the pyramid where you can carbon date it, right? I genuinely believe if somebody said to me there was a civilization that built these stuff maybe 10, 15,000 years ago, because the Sphinx is far older than the pyramids.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't think the Egyptians built the pyramids personally. I think there was a lot of civilization.
Yeah, that's the big argument that Graham Hancock talks a lot about in terms of where he's going with it. He basically saying that there's a lot of the carbon dating they do in and around the site is based on a couple of thousand years ago, but then there was loads of repairs and everything else that had sort of commenced that would have been layered on top of what was the existing kind of stuff. And like, I don't know, I genuinely don't actually think it's aliens, but for me, there's so many unexplainable aspects of it. And there are people that do give you some sort of reasonable explanations in terms of like the fact that like, because a lot of it is like, how did they get the stones there when it was miles away, all that kind of stuff, that kind of argument. And then they often use the river, obviously it's right by the Nile. So they say that was the main sort of thing, but still doesn't explain how they were able to get these kinds of weighted objects this high up in the air. And like people say, oh well, they built a ramp, and then someone did the math of how long the ramp would have to be based on how much these items weigh and how therefore what degree it would have to achieve and stuff. And it's like a fucking 100-mile long ramp or something. Anything. There's no evidence of that left, and I don't know. You go so fucking deep with it. I love it.
Have you seen the freaky one where, to piggyback on how they moved it, was they think it was anti-grav technology, right? And right? Because, right, I used to watch Ancient Aliens, and they talk so much bullshit. I love Ancient Aliens because it's so much bullshit, right? And I love the guy goes aliens, right? But there's a guy in America that built a park out of coral, right? And he done it himself, right? And they have no idea how he done it, right? And he turned around and seemingly said to people, I done it with what the ancient Egyptians did to build the pyramids, anti-grav technology. And there's pictures of his little machine with a device at the top. And it was one frail old guy. He built a coral park in America. I need to figure the name of it, but he'd done it all himself, seemingly, and was moving tons and tons of coral by himself, and he'd done it in a year or something.
You know what's better than anti-grav? You know what might have actually just been better than that back then? A lot of fucking slaves.
No, this is it. This is it. Hold on now, right? Hold on, right?
Oh, here we go. He's got a counter for the slave argument.
It's widely discussed that the slaves obviously built the pyramids. Now, multiple high-ranking sort of legends in the industry, I'm going to go ahead and say, all right?
Conspiracy theorists.
No.
Oh, okay.
Of archaeologists, right? Basically come forward and said that the degree of precision on the pyramids would justify that it was never, ever having any involvement to do with slaves. The people that were operating because it was high craftsmanship, right? So they keep discussing this, right?
If they own a human being for their entire life, I'm sure they can get really good at what they do.
They've now, everything they're now digging out is suggesting that all these people had really nice houses and stuff like that where they lived. They were actually well looked after. And seemingly they don't think it was slaves. They were actually with people that were just workers there. That's what they're now trending in the state.
100%.
About it.
100%.
Well, one of the things that I looked up when I was looking at this is people saying not quite anti-grav. was somewhat similar, where they've been researching this for ages, where it's something to do with vibrations, where they can like resonate something at a certain frequency to make things move, and they've had like all these different like possibilities, and they're like the reason why we can't find out what they did then is because they had completely different technology at the time, and we are basically looking at that and trying to put what technology we have and project that onto what they did when they could have had something completely different.
No, but here's the thing.
We would have found the technology.
Here's the thing, right? But you can only cite the Romans doing this, right?
Yeah,
is that the Romans had concrete far superior to concrete we have today. Like, if we build stuff out of concrete, common things that happen is what's called concrete cancer, where concrete crumbles, it doesn't last, and it's really inefficient. But the Romans did a concrete we can't even replicate. Everything they built out of concrete, I think, is still lasting today. But I'm just saying that's like a small lost technology.
Did they just have
It's
like
limestone
a better,
infused, though, isn't it, Rob?
But they still don't know how they get it so, like...
They had like
fair.
a secret recipe that we can't figure out.
We can't figure out, but we can't even replicate that with everything that we have nowadays.
There's a theory that the Romans, because they had this massive empire and they just crumbled, didn't they? And there's a theory that they got wiped out basically because they had lead in everything. It just killed them.
It sounds like One Piece again, like Trafalgar Law people in that one. Like, wiped out.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? But there is some weird things that I just don't get. Like, do you know you talk about the pyramid? You go across the world, you go to like, is it Machu Picchu? If you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is it. That's what I was going to talk about this.
Oh God, here we go.
Insane. No, but I don't think I think we don't credit ancient people, because I still believe we could have had a lost civilization. I genuinely do.
Yeah,
It more than likely was a lot. Like,
I know that, like,
different
because
ones.
we're so advanced now, there's people, when they look back, they go, they must have been so primitive, you know? But, like,
Savages.
what happens is that empires build up, and something could happen, like, you know, a big pandemic could wipe them all out. Because that's what happened. We went back to the Dark Ages.
Well, there's a lot of underground caverns, like from ancient civilizations, with air ducts you could never believe that you would
Mate,
lose.
the Longu Caves.
Yeah.
Talking about the Longu Caves, right? Sam, you want to get up some photos of this bad boy, right? I know you can't right now. Shit, right? Grab your phones out.
I've seen
Google it.
I know exactly.
It's the most ridiculous looking
it
structure
called?
in the fucking history. It's called the Longu Caves.
So Longu.
Long, yeah, basically.
Or You.
Here's what
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
you while they're looking that up as wild, right? But we don't give ourselves. If you go up to a place called Skara Brae in Scotland, they had like working drainage systems, and somehow we lost this like 300 years ago.
but-
We didn't have working drainage systems. Like, do you know what I mean? It's
Josh,
Oh, I
I'm
said
looking
this
at the
last-
Longu
Yeah.
Caves, right? And I'm just like, they probably had slaves.
What do you mean?
Like, if back then, right, if they owned a person, literally owned a person, and they owned them their entire life, I'm sure that at some point they would become master craftsmen and also still be a slave.
Even if they were, though, right?
And even if they were well looked after, they're still a slave.
So those markings you see in the Longu Caves, right? The lines, right? They've got no explanation to what those are. Nothing. They
Hands
have
and
no
tools.
fucking clue. Oh, so they've carbon dating back, right? According to them, at that particular time, no tools available would have done that type of markings, those types of lines.
Oh, but they had anti-grav. So that's
Well,
That's
apparently,
something
right?
different.
this is it. They're never going to know. I genuinely more take away all the aliens crap. If you're saying a civilization, like maybe Atlantis was real, maybe it's legends live on.
Oh, have
maybe,
you seen where they think
God.
Atlantis is?
Yeah.
Oh,
where do they think it is?
Oh.
Bermuda Triangle?
Bermuda Triangle.
no. What the fuck?
Aw. Do you know what? Back in school, the English, well, the British education system was fucking obsessed with the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that's because they.
Why do we
Yeah,
need
they
to know
were.
about it?
If we go there, we will die, and now nobody talks about it. That's
Yeah.
all. But while you're looking up stuff, the Longu Caves that you looked up or you said about reminds me a lot. So in Poland, they have like salt mines, and like obviously, salt raiders, salt mines. But like underneath these, you have to take like lifts and all that to go down, and they have these huge caves full of different things. They even have a full-on there's giant rooms which are like chapels and stuff. So like people did build underground and like built things anyway and carved it all the way through and everything. And I've been there. It's fucking class. I'd recommend going. It's really, really cool. But I think it's a very common thing for civilizations to have dug underground because there's just
Yeah, Josh, the catacombs under Paris.
Oh my god, yeah.
Were they aliens?
Whoa. Like I said, I've never actually said aliens. I just,
did
for
when
me,
it
right,
said
there's so many unexplained, significant, large structures, right, dating back thousands and thousands of years ago with no real explanation. I genuinely don't have any actual theories as to what it was. The only thing I genuinely lean towards, and this one is probably the most ridiculous, is that at some point back in time, humans had the potential to use their fucking minds to move shit.
Jesus Christ, Josh, mate.
Like that's as close as I get, right? Because I don't know how else they done it.
So, Josh, right? These blocks that went up the pyramids, yeah? These massive blocks. And they're like, must have been
80-ton
bridge,
blocks, right? 80 tons, right? For context, right? Is about 40 large SUVs.
All right.
Just put that in context.
What about the giants, Josh?
1,000 slaves pulling a rope.
No, literally, right? No, right? Throw fucking 10,000 of them, right? And then build me a fucking ramp that allows you to even do that on a scientific level, right? And you do the math, tell me how it looks, and then tell me why there isn't any examples of
what if
this ramp still being there, right?
What if? What if that, right? Instead of building the blocks on the ground, they built the blocks on top. So all the raw materials got brought up in bits, right?
They're solid granite.
All right, so they had to just carve that out the rock and drag it up, did they?
Yeah, literally. Which
God
brings
damn.
me on to the unfinished obelisk.
1,000 slaves.
Unfinished obelisk. Are we talking about this? Sam, you seen this?
He needs a minute. A camera died.
All right.
Still hear you.
I'm still going, right? So, at the unfinished obelisk. So, again, pull up your phones, people. Google the unfinished obelisk of Egypt.
I've
right?
seen it.
We're talking 1,200 tons, 42 meters long, okay? Carved out of the granite itself, there and then. It's the most ridiculous looking structure of all time, right? And you're telling me they were just going to fucking eat that, lift it up, place it down? 1,200 tons. Do you know how much that is? That's a lot of stuff,
Josh,
man.
I've got an idea, right?
Tell these slaves again,
how much? No. Wait, I will get there. Right. So, how heavy was the granite?
Which one?
I don't know. Get a rough ballpark. Like, how much is
They
granite?
were all roughly like 2+ tons each.
Okay, so they're like 2 tons, right? 2-ton granite. On the other side of the pyramid, you get another 2-ton granite, right? And you use that weight to pull down the other granite using the power of arms and humans. And then that one goes in the air, and you just budge it over on top.
Or Cave even better. Slaves could do that for us.
Slaves could do that,
Slaves
Josh.
could do
They
that.
were doing the counterweight.
Can we get, I mean, out of contest, we're going to have a pot. That guy does aliens, we're going to have slaves. That's what's going to happen.
I'm pretty sure the pyramids were just done by excessive cruel slavery.
Lon's in the chat talking about physics, right? Physics is literally the entire reason why it's being debunked over and over again, because the physics just doesn't work out. It just doesn't work out. It simply doesn't. Like,
what?
It doesn't. Literally, I've gone through more fucking websites, more fucking reading than I care to admit to, right?
Get mad, you.
There's no one out there, right, that has just come out and gone, oh, by the way, it's X, Y, and Z, and therefore all okay. And everyone's gone, yeah, he's probably right, actually. Every single theory that comes out just gets ruined.
To give Cave credence here, right, I think they say about 70% of the world were slaves at one point, didn't they, back in the time of the Egyptians? So
this is heavily focused on slaves, this whole experience right now. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Neither did the slaves, mate.
But Josh, have you heard the one where they think giants helped build it, and the whole giants were back then, and giants were able to move all this stuff?
That's because they found skeletons of like giant people, right, and shit.
Yeah, but here's the thing, here's the problem I have, Josh, right? We talked about this in the podcast the other week, didn't we? Like, AI is taking over. We never know what's going to be real photos or not anymore.
I know. That's what's scary, right?
That's the scary thing. So people
We're
can
coming
manipulate this to being like, they pretend like something's there when it's not. And that's what kind of scares me. The only thing that I will say about the ancient stuff that when you go into it is, have you seen the one with ancient Sumerians, and they've got depictions of our solar system with all the planets back about 6,000 years ago, and it took us to what, like 1800s or something to figure out.
There's a similar one as well
for
there's a similar one as well for the world map, isn't it? Like the South Pole was like mapped out on a certain map that should never have been there, and was discovered like 300-400 years after they'd even completed what is now known to be the world map. And like this, like, how was it there? Like, I don't know the full facts about this one, but I remember reading into it very basically, like, and that shit was wild. Like the fact that it goes back to the evidence that, like, obviously we've lost some sort of civilization along the way that was way more.
Dale is killing me in chat right now, honestly.
Just to interrupt you, Dale has just said slaves did such a good job, and Josh is just discrediting the poor guys.
And women. No. Yeah. Come on, Dale, come on, mate. You're progressive here, mate.
Well, because you were talking about anti-gravs and stuff, and so I was saying about the Joe Rogan podcast I watched on this, and they were convinced about the vibrations and stuff. And at one point, he started off his argument with going, they basically like chanted at such a vibration that these rocks just ascended. I was like, what the fuck? Like I audibly went, huh? I was like, this is stupid. What the fuck?
Didn't like, Jim, you talk about that stuff, we all laugh about it, right? But I always find weird shit like this, right? Because this may go off on a tangent, but like, you talk about how they hide shit and stuff. The one that freaks me out is Nikola Tesla and what he had, and how they think they off Nikola Tesla because he was going to give people free energy, and he'd worked out how to give people free energy
crazy.
Through like even basically through Wi-Fi, essentially wireless technology.
Really?
He was able to say that he could power the world easily, and as soon as his technology's been lost, they can't find it. And the people like who knew Tesla saying he built pylons and stuff to give people free energy, and obviously because it's going to cost the government money because they were making money off all this kind of stuff, like they got rid of it.
I mean, if it is possible, right, and there's absolutely no entropy in his free power thing, then somebody smart, given enough time, probability, will figure that out again.
Yeah, you'd think so, but he seemingly based it. If you, this is all wacky with Tesla, right? He had some wacky saying he got all this stuff in dreams. Everything he knew was in dreams. He would dream it and said somebody was communicating.
That's aliens, 100% aliens. I'm convinced.
Mate, I don't know what wacky shit. But that, mate, like if you go back through all this about, I don't know, maybe we're better than we think. And
there was also a guy who tried to replicate his work and also got killed.
Well, poor Musk. See you later, mate.
I don't think it was Musk.
I don't think Musk is ever going to invent anything, mate.
He sits there going, X. Yeah, over and over.
We have a topical. Can we touch topically on him being at the Valorant Champions event and getting booed, and then them starting a chant saying "Bring back Twitter, bring back Twitter." It's so good.
But the guy, there's also the whole thing about, I think when it comes to it, it scares me, is like the guy that invented the cart that ran off water. And he showed it to people, and it was all verified, and basically it suddenly got lost.
How did that work?
So I can't, mate, honestly, he showed it. It could run 500 miles on like a couple of gallons of water.
That's wild.
If you type in, like, seemingly it was all legit, and he got offed. He got told not to give the work, or something bad would happen to him. It was all this whole wacky theory, and he got off because, again, everything in this world revolves around money. And it wouldn't surprise me if it was true, because people would lose a lot of money.
Yeah, they would turn industries on its head, wouldn't it? Literally.
If people told me we had a cure for cancer 60 years ago, I'm not going to sit and say they didn't, because I probably believe they probably did, to be honest with you.
Did you know they're like really close to making a cure for cancer?
I think they already have, me.
Yeah, like it's as in like now there was research.
That pill?
Like, there was where it does that, which is fucking awesome. It's nice to see.
I hope so, man. Like,
it's good. Yeah,
it's just
a little positivity and real stuff.
Nice, I like it. I like
the sad part about some of that medical stuff is, like, I mean, you just take a look at America with insulin. Like,
crazy,
and they hike the price up.
Was it Charles H. Garrett you're on about?
I don't know, mate. I can't.
He said he demonstrated a water-fueled car for several minutes, but nobody could find info on it.
It's a lost civilization. It's gone. They've gone completely.
Well, it's the same with the other guy who made a thing called Starlight or something, wasn't it? There was a indestructible material, and he had patents and all that on it.
We talk about Genshin, like we talk about video games like Genshin Impact, Starlight.
I'm sure it was called something like Starlight, mate. I get down the rabbit hole with this shit because I used to watch Ancient Aliens and used to grasp onto every kind of like conspiracy theories because aliens. Like, Starlight was given to aliens. Like,
I mean-
Tesla was in communication with aliens.
It's always
This-
bloody aliens.
This goes back to what Stan just mentioned about the prices in America for drugs and whatnot. Did anyone see the Mark Cuban Cost Plus drug company online drug service thing that he released?
No.
Yeah, he's bringing down the price of drugs,
so-
wasn't he?
Yeah, so this is just a couple of examples, right? But and you're gonna have to forgive me for the pronunciations of some of these words. Albendazole, right? Generic for Albenza drug, right? Retail prices at $6,500, right? Mark Cuban's website was selling it for $450.
Oh, that's mad.
So 6,000 less.
Is that guy got jailed recently because of this, didn't he? Was there not a guy got jailed because he put the price of the AIDS drug up by like 3,000 or 4,000%? Said that's what it cost.
Wasn't that insulin?
No, it was like an AIDS drug. It was for people that had AIDS, like and.
Oh, AIDS.
Oh, he said age.
I saw his age. I'm
No,
like,
yeah.
AIDS.
I thought he said 8.
Like,
He got jailed for it.
cream's
He got
expensive.
jailed for it, saying like he covered like just to make money, like in.
We get a clip of Stan going, "Oh, AIDS."
I was very confused. I thought he was talking about like
I thought he
anti-aging
said age
stuff.
as well.
By the way,
Okay.
just to throw out, thanks for all the new members tonight. We have activated subscriptions.
There's
and thanks
so
for all
many, like-
Water-powered
insane.
cars are possible as you're able to make electricity using water. Yeah, but there's always entropy. Like you can't. This can't be a self-fulfilling energy cycle. It has to run out.
Stanley Meyer's water fuel cell with the water car, apparently.
There's also that as well. I quickly googled. I just saw Stanley Mayer and Charles Garrett or something like that.
Oh,
I
man.
think it's aliens, boys.
Man, I can't go. There's so many in my head I just want to talk about.
The
And there's so
craziest
little
thing
time.
is, though, about a lot of these is that you either believe that the pyramids were built by thousands upon thousands upon thousands of slaves.
Over a long,
Yeah, like
long, long
hundreds and
time. Like
hundreds
the
and hundreds of
the
years.
dude who ordered it to be built long died before it was built.
And because I can't fathom the idea of that, of there being that many people devoted to one craft and like just making one thing. So it's really compelling for somebody to, like Josh, for instance, to talk about, oh yeah, like, you know, aliens or Rob with his anti-gravity machine.
That's it,
I don't
though.
believe that.
That's it. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm with you, right?
that.
Like, I can't grasp the concept of like there literally being thousands and thousands and thousands of people building this over the course of like 300-400 years or some shit, right?
That's mad,
so
isn't it?
for me, it's something else. But I don't actually know what it is, you know. And,
We
and
work fucking 60, 70 years and then die. Like, imagine doing all of that for a pyramid that you don't even see get finished.
yeah.
Have you heard the thing when you're in the ancient Egypt about the Sphinx about they found a chamber under the Sphinx's paw, right? And the theory was always that it gave information about how humanity started and how we came about. And it's
evolution.
What?
Evolution.
Yeah, like or somehow like what maybe that they talk about ancient lost civilization, and the Egyptian government do not let people radar under it. They don't let them look at it. They won't let them enter the chamber because somebody said that it would have completely massive repercussions on the human race if they found that it was under there. Yeah, if you type in like what's under the Sphinx's paw or something,
I know
there's
what's
a whole
under there,
thing.
Rob.
Nothing.
Slaves.
Slave bones.
Have you seen the concept that actually the pyramid is a massive hydrogen power plant?
The what?
And it's basically
What's the hydrogen power plant?
The pyramid.
The pyramids. So there's a theory that they're actually massive hydrogen power plants, right? And there's so many different sort of like interconnecting tunnels and this, that, and the other that are obviously sort of allow for the flow of water and ultimately were creating electricity back in the day. So they think that the Egyptians had some level of electricity
Yeah, that's how
back
they
in the
powered their
day.
Stargate.
Yeah.
Oh mate, Stargate was great though. Back in
was,
the day.
yeah.
Like, it really
I
was.
was class.
It is
So good.
fucking crazy, though, how little information there is about the times that we're back then. Like, there's just fucking barely anything.
But that's a whole theory as well, isn't it?
Oh, God.
They say it's a time traveler that
Yeah.
went back and recorded history, like the gates of Babylon.
Oh my God.
That's how they could find the exact date, because some time travel went back to make sure it went into the history books or something, and that's how they record the exact dates of like they've
all
got
of
like the
this.
gates of Babylon falling and stuff like that. Because it was recorded by one time traveler going back and changing that. Like, and they
Jesus.
come up with some wacky shit, like.
It's mad, isn't it?
But the whole thing with I mean, I can't.
Okay,
I just
so
can't.
there's this other theory that Rob brought up, which is called the Tartarian Empire, which is fucking
What the
mad.
fuck?
Yeah. It's,
Oh, Josh, type this in, mate, because I love this. I love the whole fact of this. Like,
I looked into it, and there was a bunch of different theories of it. It was originally a thing that was an ancient civilization when the world was all together as one. That was one of them. Rob said that there was apparently another one that's like kind of come from it as well. You said it was like 100 years ago or something.
They were up to the point about 150 years ago, because you look at history books, they had bubble cars, they dig underground, and they were using their buildings before they got wiped out by a mud flood, essentially, or they got wiped from history. It was all one people with electricity. You look at pictures of the World's Fair back in like the 1900s early, and some of the buildings they were putting up in days were meant to be unbelievable. Like, we couldn't replicate them today. So the whole thing is that we were an advanced civilization.
It was an ancient civilization that was basically a utopia that ruled everything, essentially. And
one big fuck off mud flood took them out.
Yeah.
That's
basically.
There's so many different
one
theories there,
massive
but-
mud
Yeah,
flood.
one massive flood took everything out, killed everyone.
Fucking hell.
And left
That's
the
not a-
buildings.
Where'd the mud come from?
Well, this is nobody knows.
That's what I'm thinking.
Nobody knows.
Because you dig out
Aliens.
buildings, mate, and half the buildings
Aliens.
are underground. They're like, oh, it's half
So,
underground. Like,
It's quite hard with this theory because there are so many different ones. But the crazy thing is that they believed that they not only created the pyramids, they also believed that they also made the White House, as well as making like a Penn Station, which I think is in America, and like a lot of these other like prominent locales around the world. They apparently had made all of these and then all got wiped out by mud floods with the rising of the water, and like, you know, the sea level's risen and it's kind of taken everybody out. And yeah, they killed everyone and they're gone forever, and it's an ancient lost civilization. It was apparently Central Asia and like Siberia,
they
Russia.
even say the Great Pyramids were built by them as well.
Of course.
Of course, yeah.
I
That
said
was a whole
but yeah, yeah.
because if you look at some of the buildings we got in ancient times are like wild. Do you know what I mean? Like, we could probably, like, they're insane, right?
They're
But
insane
that-
because, you know, it's a mixture of religion, power,
Yep.
and cruelty, and slaves.
But the thing is, right? And we
Why are
don't-
you so
but-
happy saying that?
So it's like people have all the conspiracy theories, and I'm like, it's just cruelty. Everything that back then, those massive monuments, are just built through cruelty.
No, honestly,
They believed the Egyptians, the rulers.
Egyptians.
Egyptians.
They believed the ancient Egyptian rulers were gods. So not only were they
Yeah.
slaves, but they were like, yeah, they're fucking gods. Let's do this.
Tried to just go in. Yeah, I want a fucking statue made out of me. I'm gonna be dead before that's finished. But yeah, let's go. It's like Futurama with Bender when he gets everyone to make a giant one of him. That's like massive.
World was fucked up back
That just
then.
says worship me over and over again.
You know? And,
Yeah.
and religion was just really ingrained in everyone. They believed they were doing it for their gods.
So they because this Tartarian theory, I don't know how to properly pronounce it, but I'm going to carry on with that then, said that it was in Central Asia and Russia. A lot of people basically were like, yeah, it originated in Russia. But it even got so far that the, let me just make sure. Oh, yeah, the Russian Geographical Society debunked the theory, saying that it's an extremist fantasy. So, like, actual, you know, full-on, real, serious, government sort of proper build, like, companies just went, nah.
it's wild why people come up with, to be
What?
honest with you.
Why do you love this theory so much?
Because do you know how when you talk about fantasy, you have fantasy books where you talk about how things could be like
Yeah.
dystopian worlds or whatever, and like future. I love it. That's why I read them as just pure fantasy, and it's great to think of just like a fantasy world where this actually happened. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I don't believe it. I mean, this goes back to the whole theory with that flat earthers believe that there's a great giant ice wall. You go outside there, a giant ice wall. There's Atlantis. There's all these other regions we can't explore. We're not allowed to go outside because the Earth is flat and the giant ice wall will stop us. There's videos now cropping with AI made with Leviathan things stopping us from going through the ice wall and stuff like that.
There was that image that came up recently, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Where it was like a big kind of like swirl sort of thing, wasn't it? where
Yeah.
it's all like a flat Earth, and you
Not
couldn't
go
go
by
to
the
these
ice wall
places.
because we go by the ice wall. We're
Yeah.
out into we'll expand our knowledge too much and stuff like that. This is just. I don't know what people like, but I love it because to me it's just fantasy that people come up with. And if you read it as a book, it'd make a good book. Do you know what I mean? If somebody made a book
did.
out of this, it'd be a great book if it was all fantasy.
People did write books about these, and then people believed that they were real.
That's the problem. Like.
You,
Look at the Bible; it's fake, isn't it? Like,
you,
and people think it's real.
Yeah,
Like-
I hate to say it, but I think the Bible might have been a
Mate,
story.
I think there's a page at the end that said this was written by Jesus. This was made up as my head.
Somebody came up with like this wild idea. It's like, oh, I'm gonna write this book, but I'm gonna make it as if it's real life, you know, as a really entertainment thing. Died, got found under a rock or something. Someone's like, that's real. You know,
It is crazy that is like that's what I think is true as well. I genuinely think someone's just picked up something and gone, God, that's a bloody good story. Is
What's up, Neil?
I-
I
I
feel like
can,
somebody did some
wonder
really
if I
good
can basically
fucking
sell it to the
literature back then,
masses,
didn't
like.
they?
I can't wait for 10,000 years' time where somebody finds a copy of Lord of the Rings and thinks that was
That's
real.
it. That's completely true, though, Sam. That is the complete fact of this, right? Is somebody could pick up any book 10,000 years that's preserved somehow and go, oh my God, these guys lived in fucking, like, I don't know, like fantasy fucking land. There's a ring.
There were wizards in Britain.
Jesus.
Harry Potter.
They're like, oh, I'm so glad they
The
stopped
Bible's
Sauron.
really similar to SCP. It's just entirely crowdfunded, you know,
But
crowdsourced.
have you seen the conspiracy theories that
Everyone's just popping in their stories like.
have you ever
Moon
seen the-
landings, fake pyramids. Yeah, how about religion?
People think the
What the
SCP
fuck?
Foundation's real. People think they're releasing this to get people prepared for like SCPs being real.
Well, we'd be
That's-
fucked then.
That's extremely wild. You literally go on the wiki, you can see there's a fan page.
Yeah, but they're saying
You can
the
literally
government are
submit your own
releasing this.
story.
The government are releasing this to get us ready for the SCP being real. That stuff like that. Like it's just.
So many of them are just world
But
enders.
Stan, people think the backrooms are real. I mean, you're gonna people
We live
actually
in a
think you
weird
can no
age.
clip it a reality. Like it's ridiculous what people actually.
There is an infinitely, I can't remember the word. There's a tiny chance you could no clip into something.
yeah.
You won't go in the back rooms, you just die.
Remember Gary's bumhole and Sam.
Yeah, I
He-
phased through his
He-
genes.
Sam no clipped into Gary's bumhole with his
Into
finger.
his colon. I had a little fiddle around in there.
I love bringing that up every podcast down the line. Like, oh,
Mate, it's
my bumhole
bad.
back.
It's fucking bad, honestly. Well, I mean, people can spontaneously combust. It's like such a tiny chance of like any of us just out of existence.
the stories of that are wild. I
Man.
can't believe we've never caught it on video. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The amount of times that it supposedly happened.
It'd be really cool to see it happen, but it would also be incredibly fucked up to see
Infinitesimal, that's
somebody
the word I
just
was looking
fucking
for, yeah.
blow up. It'd be horrific. Could you imagine that? We're just sat here and Stan just goes and
Dude,
disappears.
I tell you the other wild theory, right? And it freaks me out to think of this one is like why the majority of humans have an inherent fear of spiders, and they go fear is
All
like
humans.
what? Yeah, like
Not all humans have fears of spiders.
no, but there's a vast majority
Yeah.
of humans have
Because
A
there was a lot
massive
of people
fear.
who got fucking killed by spiders
Maybe.
giant
through
spiders.
time.
But
But
they all-
evolution hardwired it into the brain that spiders are fucking
But
dangerous.
That's the thing, though, because they think there might have been massive giant spiders that existed. Because
What's-
have you ever seen giant sloths? Have you ever seen a giant
probably
sloths?
was.
Like that's why sloth.
There
What-
probably was something that was like kind of
Like Lord of the
looked
Rings kind of
something
spider,
like that.
you know?
Oh god, Aragog.
What's
Oh,
that? What's
God.
that's that thing that people say that
Sam's face then when he said Aragog, he's like,
Oh,
What is that?
I just can't. I hate it. What?
Is that a spider in the Hobbit?
It's that's the one from
Zim.
Lord of the Rings, right?
both, right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's in
Oh,
both. Wait,
So-
no. Aragog is Harry Potter.
It's
Shelob-
Harry Potter, isn't it? I was
Potter
about to say,
Yeah.
actually.
Shelob is Lord of the Rings.
Shelob, yeah.
Yeah. Mate,
Hey,
Aragog when I
both
was
of
a
them are
kid,
just
when I
as
saw
fucking
that,
terrifying.
oh, when
You're
I
saying
saw
about
that on the
spiders.
screen, when I sat in theaters watching that and it came on the screen, I was shitting my pants. I was like AC the entire time.
Sam,
Both of them.
I went to the Harry Potter Universal ride. There's a bit you go into the dark forest. I was terrified.
Awful, isn't it?
Absolutely terrifying.
It's fuck.
I love Sam sending one up Gary stories. Thanks for the $5, mate.
Thanks, awesome. Appreciate that.
Sending one up, Gary.
Fucking awesome. What a way of describing something
That
that
is
didn't
class.
happen, you know. Oh mate, spiders are disgusting. I can't even. I can't. They're the worst.
Yeah, you know how like everyone has you were saying about the ingrained the fear of spiders, was you know how like we get a bit freaked out by Uncanny Valley. So that would indicate that over evolution that we might have been afraid of something that existed, like doppelgangers.
I
Can you
mean,
imagine that?
afraid of humans.
People that didn't
Like us.
quite look human, and there was a reason for humans to be afraid of them because
I
they
mean,
existed.
Skinwalkers, Keith. Yes.
Kaif, you know what it is?
Josh,
Well,
have you
They
heard of
probably needed
skinwalkers?
glasses but couldn't
No.
have glasses back then.
So
Maybe.
what are skinwalkers, Rob? Because Josh doesn't know what they are.
Mate, they're things that transform and basically try to eat human children, is it not? Like,
They're,
Why
from my
specifically
understanding.
Why did you
they-
just look around, Rob, as if you were about to get eaten?
I thought
He watched us rub our hands
Raimi
together
could be a
while we were like,
skinwalker.
yeah,
The
boy.
way Raimi was looking at
We're
me, I
getting
thought
it.
Raimi was a skinwalker, mate. Like, I thought it was going to transform and eat me. Like,
So,
Yeah, Nia. So that's how evolution works, right? We're afraid of things because at some point in history, it was killing bitches. So at some point in history, we learned to fear the uncanny valley because skinwalkers were among us.
Probably.
well, a
probably needed
skinwalker is
glasses.
basically
But we
like
also won the war.
the
the
idea
skinwalkers.
that there's a
we?
creature out there that can assume a human. So it will basically be like it'll look exactly like a human, except
Mark
it'll be
Zuckerberg.
something off. Like it will
Lizard
just.
people.
There's
Yes.
loads of these videos out there of things like that where they're just slightly off, and it's like if you see one of them, like, they will kill you, and they
Sam,
will.
did you see
replace
Did you see the story recently of the woman on the plane who?
Oh,
mate,
in the back
We
of the
spoke
plane,
about
isn't
that
it?
on the podcast.
she was
yeah.
on drugs.
Mate,
like.
have you seen her?
Oh, you've already
apology
spoken
video?
about it, have you?
I don't remember, but carry on, Josh.
Have you seen her apology video, Josh?
No.
She made an
So
apology.
she made an apology and she's pretty fucking normal, but people are like, nah, this ain't the real woman. But the worst part is, right, on Twitter, somebody posted a picture of her and did a side-by-side comparison. We're like, that's not her. She's not real. And in the community notes, somebody went, this is her, but for some bizarre reason, they enlarged her boobs.
What?
Yeah. They
What's wrong with
digitally
people?
enlarged their boobs for some fucking weird reason.
Oh my god, that's a fucking big yikes!
I
Like,
just wanted to get the actual. Apparently, skinwalkers were actually a thing, as in they were in Navajo culture. They believed that they were witches that could like turn into animals and people and stuff.
It's more like
and
a
would-
cryptid.
And they would basically like assume the form of either a human or an animal to hunt us.
sounds like a druid.
Where
Huh?
you would, yeah, basically, where you would think that they were a human and you go and like have a chat with them or something, but they're actually a predator in disguised as a human. But nowadays, their one is they want to replace you, so they will look like you and like kill you and replace you as who you are.
Oh, reminds me of that episode of Red Dwarf. What was it? Polymorph.
You're
That's
too
what. That's what.
old.
That's polymorph.
That's
Like,
an old program, that is
I
right.
used to watch Red
Red-
Wolf, but I was like 4.
oh, mate, Paul,
That's-
polymorph.
That's older than most of our
Turn
audience.
into like a sausage or something like and eat you like. It's like honestly, I loved that episode. Of the pleasure gulf, like, you know.
Oh God! Someone just reminded me of Britney Spears. Do you know the theory about her? About how
Fucking Matteo.
with oh, Jesus, the theory of both Britney Spears and Avril Lavigne, where they have killed off the original and replaced her with somebody else to carry it on to make money off of them. You heard the theories of those?
Yep,
I've heard the theories. Not, you know, could happen, but it's not.
It's definitely not, but it's an interesting.
They can make money off
theory to see.
anybody though, couldn't you? Like, I mean, all you have to do is find somebody moderately good looking with a good voice, put them on, perpetual with advertising, make money off them. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to be like. I wouldn't say Britney Spears was super talented. Do you know what I mean? You could easily replace.
I don't see why they would replace them. You wouldn't make more money. If anything, them dying would make you more money.
It's because the idea is that they wanted to stop, and they didn't want them to stop because they could keep making money off of them.
But it's better if they die.
So they replace. Well, I mean, for short term, yeah, but for long term, you could make more money off of them by having them sell more and more things and keep touring and everything to make more money in general. It's it's kind of it's a fucked one. Britney Spears is gone. That's not the same person. See, even somebody who's watching believes that it's real.
She's just older, mate. That's it. She's just got old.
She is fucking off her the rocker though, isn't she?
I do find it.
She's a little bit iffy,
Like,
yeah.
jeez,
Do you
God,
find it? Are you finding
She's
this,
fucking off the rock.
Mate, after what she's gone through, 100%, I'd be, mate, close to breaking down at the moment anyway, like just as is with life in general.
Yeah.
And like I can't imagine that as Britney Spears as well. Could you imagine having all those people hounding after you all day, all night? You try and go anywhere and people are taking pictures. You try and do this, people are taking pictures. Mate, she's
Nia, I just want to point out, see tonight, right, if you hear a knock at your door, right,
It's Rob.
and there's two kids, they've got pure black eyes, don't let them in, because they'll take over your mind and kill you, mate. They target people that live on their own. So just
What is
watch
this?
your door, mate.
What is-
Mate, it's wild about
Is this
kids that can...
Skinwalkers?
No, I said another one where it's like kids with like just pure black eyes that like literally will take over you and kill you and get in your house. Once you invite them in, they can't leave and
I
stuff.
feel like Nia's told you this, and now you're saying it to kind of mess
No,
her
she's
up.
not. She's not. I
Rob.
just know she's scared. Like I'm an asshole.
Well,
Rob, what do you even mean though? Who's fucking opening their door to two small children with deep
Prince
black
Andrew.
eyes and going,
Because
yeah,
the
come in
thing
here,
is, they
come
chat
on,
the door
yeah,
saying,
oh,
please help me, we're getting attacked or something.
I'll get a fucking brew
So
on.
there's two kids, really young kids, 8 or 9, chatting your door saying, help, please, they're trying to attack me, help, you wouldn't open your
Mate,
door.
if their eyes are pure black, right, I'm punching them both fucking like this, straight in the eyes, right? I'm
Josh
getting
hates
the fuck
kids,
out.
people. He's punching kids like.
Mate, if
they
I saw a
had
kid,
pure
if I
black
saw a
eyes-
kid with pure black eyes, I'd beat up a kid.
Yeah, see,
mate,
punch that kid straight in the face.
fucking rock
Right,
on,
if you
both of them,
want to
like.
send your child, right, trick or treat in, right, not on Halloween around my house, right, they get punched in the face. Straight up.
Halloween
I ain't
happens,
taking
Josh
any
putting on
risks, right?
boxing gloves. He's like, I'm
Nah,
ready to fight
mate,
some kids.
forget that. Knuckle dusters are coming straight on. I'm getting ready straight in.
Christ, good lord,
Seriously, kids scare me, man.
they can be really scary.
Punt
Can't
the kid.
Yep.
they are proper freaky. Okay, have we got any other conspiracy theories? Any other ones that you think
Oh, mate, there's so many.
that you'd
like-
love to talk about that have been worming in your head? Rob,
Don't
you've
think
got
so.
thousands, don't you?
Oh, I could have 1,000, but depends how you want the podcast to go. I could talk for the next 3 hours. Like,
Tell us another one.
let's go down the Mandela effect, people.
Right.
Oh,
Because
yes.
the Mandela effects creep the shit
This is
out
a
of me.
banger.
Because there's so many that freak me out. I listened to Josh. Me and Josh kept discussing this in work the other day. Looney Tunes. I remember it's actually called Looney Tunes. Come on.
Deep
Kit
in it,
Kat
like-
doesn't have a hyphen. The Monopoly Man doesn't have a monocle. Gibraltar not being an island. I mean, I can't. I could knock off millions of these, like, right?
They don't freak me out. It's just misremembering.
But how come so many people? Like, do they talk about
Yeah.
the Nelson Mandela thing, right? Legitimately,
What, the Nelson Mandela
I can
effect?
remember Nelson Mandela like dying. I can't remember him being alive. Like, I remember that. I remember it like clear as day. He wasn't alive.
You got locked up.
Yeah, but people think he died, didn't he? That's the whole thing, and that's why it's called the Mandela effect. Is because people thought he died, and I can remember that in my head. Like, I think he was dead. Like,
Midnight Splendor, you fucking legend, by the way.
Is that 100 gifted?
100 gifted subs. Thank you, man.
Holy shit. What a beast.
What a Chad.
Gibraltar was never an island. Apparently
exactly.
not.
But I can physically remember, even the thing people were like saying, I remember going round the island and filming it and stuff. Like I'm not, like Kate said, people could be misremembered, but there's some weird ones that I'm just like, Kit Kat not having a hyphen, boys. Come on.
I know
We
a
got-
lot, I know a
we
lot
got-
of people misremember stuff, and it you know, it is so weird that we all misremembered the same thing, but like they're so close that it feels like it's just easy to do, because you'll probably meet somebody who actually remember the right one. That's why this thing even exists. Is people going, no, you're misremembering that, because they remember it right.
It is some weird stuff. The one that freaks me out of all the Mandela effects, right? 100% is the Star Wars one.
The silver leg.
No, the silver leg, but the look, I am your father. I
Yeah.
physically remember this, right? I remember, look, I am your father. It's like, no, I am your father or something. And I'm like, no. There's no way, because popular culture still has it from years ago. Look,
Yeah,
I
it's
am your
'cause
father.
one person's said it wrong.
The-
and other
But how
people
did one
two-
person create a massive difference? Like,
Because
There's
it's like
three.
how memes work.
it's,
There's
So
three
so-
what?
Somebody
Josh?
popularizes a phrase. They just did it with Star Wars, and the wrong quote got popular.
mate, I can't. Even the thing
There's
with
three what,
C-3PO's
Josh?
leg being silver, like,
Alright.
how does C-3PO ever have a silver leg?
I
Like,
think I
you know what
remember
mean?
him having a
did have-
silver
I
leg.
can.
I always remember
So-
because he was a bit of a scrap bot, right? He was
Yeah.
He wasn't fully gold.
He had like a red.
The three ones that get me are going to be C-3PO's leg, right? Don't always guess me. Then it's Pikachu's tail.
Well,
So I adamantly remember that being black, and
Is the
obviously
end
it's
of his
not. It's
tail
just
black?
straight yellow.
No.
But in my head it was.
And then yellow all the way up.
Yeah, well, I was adamant that it was all yellow, always. And I know a lot of people are in that. The other one then is from Snow White, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall.
That's freaky. Mirror, mirror on your wall.
Because that, like, the fact that it never says that, it actually says magic mirror on the wall.
No, wait,
that for me.
It's not mirror, mirror on the wall, Stan.
Stan's
It's not
blown.
mirror, mirror on the wall. It's magic mirror on the wall. Mirror, mirror on the wall's never been said.
Never
ever.
been said. Never. And then those are the three. This life is like a box of chocolate. Life is like a box of chocolate ones as well from Forrest Gump.
The one other one is
Actually,
Hello, Clarice.
Life was like a box of chocolate. It's little things like that. It's like what?
What's the movie
Such
that-
famous
Yeah, but that's
sayings
just
like.
the phrase is so close. That's why.
Yeah,
What
but
about the
why?
one where-
Yeah,
what
but then
about
you say that. But why
Hello,
do so many
Clarice?
people
What
have
about-
the same opinions? Like,
What about the movie where he goes, Hello, Clarice? Is it Hannibal? And it's never said in the movie once.
It's because Josh, there's 7 billion of us.
yeah. So statistically, there's always going to be a chance. But like, why is it statistically then that so many of those people think the same thing? Why isn't there people that are going, oh well, no, I thought it was this. It's always one or another. It's like never. It's never multiple. It's never someone going, oh, well, I actually thought it was something else.
I think
It's
it's
just
just
these
like-
two options. Like, what are the odds that just
what we
everyone
latch onto,
lands
innit?
one side of the stone? Like,
It's just what we latch onto. Like we're like basically just like memes that life is like a box of chocolates. Just reads better than life was like a box of chocolates, you know? And if it reads better and it's easier to say, then more people do it, and more people say it, more people remember it as that, despite it not being the thing. It's like when you go watch a movie in the cinema and you come out there and really you can only remember 20 minutes of it.
All right, Keith, how do you spell Febreze?
I have no idea.
F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E.
Is it F-E-B-R-E-E-Z-E?
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Why?
Going through it.
He's looking up Mandela effect. I think.
Sketchers, how do you spell Sketchers?
I don't know what sketch it is.
Well,
Is it
it's prob-
S-K-E-T-C-H-E-R-S?
It's probably CH, isn't it?
It's not CH.
It's S.
Is
Yeah,
it
it's
TCH
S-K-E-T.
There is no
CH.
T in
Yeah,
Sketchers.
it's CH.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you one that freaked me out, and I showed Josh. But maybe it's because I'm old for this. Fruit of the Loom. You remember the brand Fruit of the Loom?
Yeah.
I've never heard of
And
that.
it's not got a cornucopia.
Okay, I wouldn't.
You've said all this. I'm like,
Yeah,
nope.
no clue about that one, mate.
What
I know
about-
Fruit of the Loom. I don't know the logo.
Pikachu's tail doesn't have black on it.
Yeah,
we just said that. We just.
Mate, that's
Where
the
were you?
second time
I
during
was
this
reading
that he
Josh,
said
alright, you
this.
prick. Oh, yeah, mate, look, Fruit of the Loom never had that cornucopia, mate.
Okay, so it's with the Mandela effect, it's very easy for one person. Say there's 4 of us here who've just seen a film, and one person says a quote from there. If I don't remember it perfectly, I'll go, whatever I remembered was wrong. That must be it. And imagine that, except without TV, without any of that, without the internet, people just spread that along, where they remembered it wrong. but
Yeah,
that
I
they
agree,
remember
Let
right?
me throw you an
That's a
alternative to this, Sam.
perfectly-
What if we went into a different reality than you were born in? And so basically, my reality that I was born in before I transitioned into another one, Kit Kat did have a hyphen, mate. Or, you know, the Monaco was on the Monopoly Man. What about those kind of... Because there's a whole Reddit dedicated to the people saying this. I read one recently where a woman said she woke up to find that she never had the husband and her whole life is a lie, even though she could tell me
Yeah.
something.
Is that the one with the ghost?
No, this is one where like the guy's still alive and doesn't have any clue who she is, and they work together or something. He remembers them working together and that's it, but they were never a couple. But she remembers having a whole life having kids, and she lost everything. She said she lost her husband, she lost her kids, and like her mum was dead or something in this reality. Where
What
the
the
other
fuck?
mate, there's a
That
whole
sounds
thing.
like
There's
someone
a
had a
whole,
really
there's a
nice
whole
dream and then woke
Reddit
up and
for
went,
people convinced they're not from this reality. They're from an alternative Earth where every time you get deja vu, you've shapeshifted, you've transitioned to a different Earth. That's why your head starts freaking out when you get deja vu.
I mean, if that's the case,
Well, isn't the thing with deja vu, like your brain thinks you've seen it before?
But that's what they're trying to sit and say. But they're saying it's because you're transitioning into an alternative reality.
and that's fine.
So it's not
Yeah,
my
it's fine, it's
brain's my brain's just a bit inconsistent. It's no, I must be right. It's
Like, I'm not
my
saying this is
my
right, Sam.
reality has changed.
I'm not saying this is right, but this is the conspiracy theory behind what they think is actually happening. Is 2012, the world, when they did the Hadron Collider,
Yeah.
Hadron
created
Collider.
collided Earths together, and we're all changing from dimension to dimension. Oh, mate, they've got a whole theory of how Mandela effects are happening, how we're changing realities, and it's all to do with the Hadron Collider. 100% down Hadron Collider. When they done it, they created like a mini black hole that made us all collide.
What?
Hadron Collider.
The Hydron. You mean the hard-on Collider, right?
Hard on. If you want to be hard on me, ass.
Mate, back in school, right? Because I think we were 18 at the time, about during the Hadron Collider, and people in school were genuinely like concerned. They were like, the world could end today if they fuck this up.
Yeah, I remember.
I was sitting there like, God, I really don't want the world to end today. And then, life went on.
Yeah. I remember that so well, Kaif. I remember literally people like being really upset going around school thinking
as well. It was the girls.
The particle's gonna fuck everything up. Like
the world could end today. They're doing a massive 2 particles gonna hit and it could explode. And I was like, what the fuck?
It's with fucking Y2K, isn't it? Where they were all.
I remember that because I was
because you're ancient,
mate. I was like 15. My uncle,
mate. Everyone remembers that, surely.
Yeah, the Y2K
it's not because they had concerns about
the computers.
They only made their computers with the date going up to 1999. And they thought they were going to have like some catastrophic issues with changing the format going through to 2000.
But you have to put on there that there was a lot of work that went into programming to make sure that didn't happen. My uncle worked doing that. Like his job was to reprogram everything to make sure nothing disastrous was going to happen. But to me, it's just wild how computers could just stop working because of going the year 2000. It makes no sense. But it's even a lot of work and back end work went into it.
Life goes on and on and on and on.
Oh my God. The best thing to come out of Y2K was fucking Chris Jericho being Y2J. Like that's the best thing. Everything else kind of sucked around there. It's mad though, the amount of people that like just buy into these theories.
Me, I love it.
Like, I would believe the pyramids were like fake, right, Josh?
The Mandela stuff, I'm just not.
What?
I just don't think it's weird.
I said it's mad the amount of people that buy into these, and I said, yeah, like the pyramids, right, Josh?
Mate, I'm telling you now, so many right.
Do you believe in them, Josh? Right. Do you believe in these conspiracy theories, or is it just like interest?
It's interest. Like I said, I don't believe them. It was. That's what I mean. I don't know. I've genuinely got no like reasonable
guess.
Like I said, genuinely, when I lean towards something, I lean towards some sort of outside interference, shall we say?
Do you believe in the JFK assassination, Josh? Do you believe they assassinated JFK?
Well, the government.
I've read into this a bit. Yeah, kind of.
I think they assassinated him.
I think they did.
I think they assassinated. It's the one thing I believe in conspiracy theories is that JFK was assassinated, like 100%.
No, he died on the shitter. He
what?
shit. Evs just went, do you think Elvis is still alive? And we all went, no.
What a random one, like.
No, Michael Jackson is also dead.
We put Michael Jackson in the freezer.
Tupac was a big one, wasn't it? They think Tupac.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Tupac wasn't killed. He just wanted to live a normal life, so he pretended to kill himself for some.
Did the thing like Batman at the end of the Christian Bale films and just went and lived in France.
Just sat having his tea.
Like. Having his tea. Turns around, the butler's like, ooh. He's like,
one of his mates is like, oh shit, it's Tupac.
It's fucking Tupac.
Just pretend he's not there, boys.
And then he came back as a hologram like 10 years ago. Do you remember that when they did that? When they made him a hologram in that fucking concert? That was wild.
It was uproar as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
People saying like you know they don't have the right to do that and everything, and
that's how you've got AI making him sing fucking Westlife like. It's insane. There's so much fucked up.
I'm surprised. No one of SR has been targeted by that before yet.
The Hitler is a lie theory is a weird one. The Hitler escaped Nazi Germany because
I'm so excited about that.
Because mate, I watched whole programs on this because see the body they found and the bones they analysed was nothing. It was a female. It wasn't Hitler. So they think Hitler escaped to Argentina. If you go to Argentina, there is massive German communities in Argentina full of old Nazis that went there after the war. And the theory is they think that Hitler went to Argentina and they've got massive German communities in Argentina and the Nazis survived in Argentina.
They housed him like...
Yeah, because they couldn't touch him when he got to Argentina.
Yeah, but he was mental. Like, if he survived, he would have been like, I'll try again.
Yeah,
I'll try again in Argentina.
Well, I think at that point, anybody in Germany who had seen the fall of Hitler were basically like, oh, we've been kind of lied to this whole time. So if he did try to do it again, he would not have nearly as many fervent people. If he came now, he'd probably have half of America with him.
Probably.
Yeah, the other one's just like
Sorry, Americans, but
the other one that throws me off to do with all is that the people don't think the Holocaust was as bad as what they think it was, and they inflated the numbers.
They've only started that conspiracy theory because denying it isn't working anymore.
Yeah.
There was a number of theories. I went, I'm not going to talk about that on it. I'm not going to bring it up. And Rob's just been like, yeah, this. But
it's wild. The thing is, right, do you know what's wild talking about this is the fact that how history could be skewed in 100 years to say it never happened. And that's what scares me, the whole AI thing, is because things could literally be manipulated to be like it never happened. Do you know what I mean? And that's the scary thing, where people in 100 years could think it never happened, and that's what scares me.
There was the whole thing.
There are people who are surprised that World War II happened.
Yeah, there was that, and I think there was a lot of Japanese people, like as in young Japanese people who, I think either didn't know the stuff that they had done, and were like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Finding out that, or also German, because I think there was a certain period of time where it was said that German people weren't taught about
the
wars or anything about it. But
never. We won't discuss it, but never Google Unit 731.
So that Japanese unit.
That is a dark read. That is.
Was that the experiment? They did all the experiments on people and stuff.
Yeah, it's just an awful read. Like, if that's actually true and that's not made up and anything else in this, it's all as it says. It is genuinely one of those awful reads. Of what I've ever read in my life.
Mate, it's horrific because the Nazis did the same though, didn't they? Didn't they, like, at one point cure colour blindness, and people would be like sterilising people with colour blindness and all sort of thing. They would sterilise them even though they were German. They would just sterilise them so they would pass on like impurities and stuff like that. Honestly, not conspiracy theory, but I just think stuff like that wild, like they did it.
There was Nanking was a really big one, which is horrific. But there's a lot of crimes that are overlooked for what happened around the same time, because Germany was the biggest focus point.
Is chat like really delayed, by the way, in Streamlabs?
Yeah, a little bit.
Right, okay. I was like, I'm reading stuff that people are saying, and I'm like, well, we spoke about that a while ago.
Oh, did not notice.
All right. It's probably just Streamlabs. It's probably not the actual stream.
It's pop-up. The pop-up we got is fine, mate.
We're gonna, now that we're getting into really depressing topics, enough. We're gonna just move on. So we've talked about some nice topics, ish, for a bit, but we're gonna get to our favorite parts, which are the "Am I the Asshole" parts, because I personally want a bit of a pick me up after Rob saying that Hitler's probably still alive. I want to ignore the fact.
He's dead now.
If he was alive, he's probably dead now. There's not a lot of people left alive who were born around the time of World War II.
We got two "Am I the Asshole" sent to our email, which is the Tavern at saltraiders.com, right? Is that where it is? Or is it Gmail?
No, it's saltraiders.com, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I think it's on the top.
Yeah.
I think it's like up here in chat or something. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, post it in, cheers.
We got sent these by Albino Hunter, which is a weird name, but whatever. The first one's called "Am I the Asshole for exposing an affair because it was affecting my sleep?" Which...
Wait up.
We've done this.
I think we've done this.
Oh, there's no way. Okay, we're not doing this one. We're gonna read another one. We're gonna read one.
This one sounds a banger.
I didn't read it because I intentionally wanted to not read it.
So
I
Josh,
could
get this right.
Go in.
The neighbor was having sex upstairs very loudly.
I know it's coming.
She's very old. Not old too old. She's a middle-aged woman. She was partying all the time with 18-year-olds, and the noise was annoying this neighbor. So she investigated who she was sleeping with, found out that guy was married, contacted the wife, causing them to split, and now the neighbor doesn't have sex with him anymore, and she feels so much better. And Rob thinks she's an asshole.
She's an asshole. Creepy as fuck for investigating it first, all going into Facebooks and everything. She was just annoyed she wasn't getting laid. I don't want to go down this rabbit again because
She wanted sleep. She's like, I'm annoyed. I wasn't.
The
like,
other woman just wanted pumped.
I'm annoyed. I
what's the
can't
problem,
sleep. And
like?
Rob's like, you're annoyed because you can't have sex.
Buy your plugs,
Sounds like
I said,
Rob.
Josh,
It
buy
sounds
your
like
plugs.
justice was served, mate. So that's all that matters.
I think people said I was condoning cheating. I was just saying the other woman was jealous she wasn't getting pumped. And I find it weird you're going to investigate everything like that's fucking weird, like stalker.
Mate, being like somebody keeping you awake, right, is close to torture. I would also go through those efforts.
Let's be honest,
end
torture
it.
you can't stop it, right? You could put your plugs in.
Plus
She
the
doesn't
problem,
have to, that's her
she
house,
was
though.
smashing some dude and also having parties at 4 a.m. with
The
18-year-olds.
partying stopped though, remember, Keith? Let's get this right. The partying stopped and for over a year or whatever it was, right? And it was just loud sex, it was keeping her up.
Nothing makes my day any better than you and Rob say the word pumped. Just the way he goes, oh yeah, get him pumped. Pumped class.
Let's move on. We've done it. We've discussed how I was right last week.
Well, we've got two others because Kaif sent a couple, which I'm going to read now. Thank you very much. I appreciate that because I didn't realize we did this. So we'll have our group cam for this while I read through it. Yeah. So this is: am I the asshole for not letting my girlfriend eat the naan bread we ordered? Which
That's pretty tame so far.
pretty tame.
Yeah, it's a team title.
I read it and was like, this is one I have read, and I was like, that's fucking wild. My girlfriend and I got takeout from an Indian restaurant we like, and order from usually when our budget allows us. This place is really the only good Indian place anywhere near us, but it is very pricey, and so we try to keep our orders small. One entree for me, one for her, and a side of naan bread that we share. The thing is, the side of bread isn't very much, and the entree just isn't the same without it, so it seriously annoys me when she eats the bread without dipping it in her curry. It's such a waste of the little bread that we get. I told her this before, but says it's not my concern how she eats her food, except it is my concern because she is wasting a shared side. Whatever, I let her go each time. This time, she didn't order curry like she usually does. She got biryani, which, if anyone doesn't know, is rice and meat. So I was happy that I would get the bread to myself. While we were eating, she reaches over for the bread and eats a piece on its own. I got annoyed and moved the bread away from her and told her she doesn't need the bread since she isn't eating a curry and doesn't need bread, whereas I am eating a curry, so I do need bread. Also, that her entree comes with rice and she can eat that. She got offended and ended up threatening not to pay her share of the food next time. She also called me a greedy asshole and took her food and ate the rest in our bedroom. My friends are split. One of them says I'm in the right and it's too much carbs for one meal for her to have bread and rice. But the other friend essentially also called me a greedy asshole. It's been hours and she's ignoring me. Am I the asshole?
Yeah.
Can I go first?
Yeah.
Go on.
100%. This guy is a complete arsehole. Like, who's his friend as well? Gating how much fucking carbs his girlfriend is getting.
I know.
What the flying fuck is even going on?
The
Like,
big thing is, right, in many cultures where they have breads like that, it doesn't matter if you've got a sauce or not, it's used as like an instrument to get the food in and eat it, if you know what I mean. So to sit and say because she doesn't have sauce and she's got a biryani and she can't use the bread, like, you know.
It doesn't even matter. Garlic bread or naan bread is tasty. So just
But that's what I'm trying to
let
say.
her eat
Like,
the
yeah,
give her half the bread and whatever she does with her is fucking her bread.
is this guy witnessing people eating bread on their own and just going, oh my God, what is wrong with them?
He's eating naan bread without the curry.
Wait. Leviathan in chat. Rice and naan is too much. I could eat rice and naan because my fat
I could
prick,
eat her
mate.
as well. What the
Come
fuck?
on,
I always do
Leviathan,
it.
mate. Come on,
You
bro.
have the curry, you have rice, you have a naan bread. Mate, I have a fucking big old naan bread to myself. It's the fucking best. It's the boy.
I'll throw some fucking potatoes over the top of all that. Like, it's just carved me up. Like,
Can we just keep it in thing that Josh is an asshole, right? Because
What?
this is the guy where you buy pizza from, he steals your sauce, doesn't pay for it, and says it's his sauce. And this asshole here is trying to sit and say, right, she's in the wrong. He's the asshole. We know it. He's got no right to comment on this, and I guarantee he steals Ali's food. All right,
this
Josh.
has turned pretty dramatically over to me.
Wait,
What
boys.
I will
we
say,
must
right?
remember that this guy called Yosh did that to you.
Oh, yeah, it was Josh.
It was
Josh, what do you think about Yosh getting a pizza with Rob, and when the dip arrives, it goes, "That's my dip, not yours."
I think Yosh is a scumbag, mate. I'll be honest. Not to be trusted, mate.
I
Not
did
to be
this other
trusted.
weekend stream I was doing. I did a thing with Kate was Am I the Asshole? He turned up when I was talking about him, where he ratted me in for having a shit in the toilet and staining all the women's toilet.
Wait,
he
what?
ratted me. And there was no toilet left in our work, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I,
no,
went for
can
I had to have a
Go
shit.
on, hold
Wait,
on. Okay, you
Rob
do it first,
butchers
and
this
then we'll
fucking
have Josh.
story.
Right,
Rob
at
butchers
work,
this
we got
story.
we in our old work used to have two cubicle toilets, right? Essentially, one for a man, one for a woman. But the one was occupied by a man. I needed to have a shit, right? And do that way you have to go. You're going to shit your pants. So I had to go woman disabled toilet. So I went into the women's disabled toilet because that's what it's marked as. So my idea is it's disabled women. So technically, anybody can use it, right? So I went in there, had a banging shit that was really bad, splattered everywhere, right? So do you know how I can't look at? Do you know how I can't look at my? Do you know how I can't look at my shit knife, right?
Yeah.
So I'm closing my eyes, the toilet paper
You
wiping
didn't
at the
clean her up.
and it was smearing it all over the back of the pan, right? So I come back, and the next day, the woman comes in. This is a day after the event, I think it was, right? And it was all marked because no woman was in the previous. And then she come in, thumping and going, "Who's used the woman's toilet?"
No, she didn't. No, this is it, right? She comes in, right, and I'm sat
This is
at
the
my
Mandela
desk.
effect. You
My
guys hear
desk
different
is
things.
sat right opposite the door, right? So she knows I know, right? And she just looks at me deadpan and goes, "Has Robert used the fucking toilet again?" And I literally was just like, "I think so." I don't believe in a world, right, where this man... Look, I don't believe in a world where you get to go to a toilet, right, fucking splatter your shit all over it, and then just fucking leave with no consequence. It's not a world that I want to live in, all right? I want no part in it, right? Take your shit elsewhere.
Throw me under the bus, mate. You threw me under the bus that day.
I do it again.
I know you do it again because you're a prick.
I do it again right now.
So,
Like literally, can you imagine? She's gone in for a shit, right? And it's literally just fucking pure decimation on the back of the pan, right? I just can't. I can't deal with it.
But the thing is, right, so only the woman's toilet is marked as disabled, right?
Yeah,
So technically Rob can use it.
exactly.
That's a woman's
Yeah,
disabled toilet.
but it's widely
but there's
talked
no
about
man's
within.
disabled toilet.
Yeah,
so.
but it's widely talked about within the office, right? That's the women's toilet and this is the men's toilet, and that's like it was like a common ground. And Rob just went, "Nah, fuck this. I'm gonna go in there, fuck that shit up."
I think the real arsehole is the person that said, "Here are two toilets, and for some reason we're gonna give them a fucking gender."
I don't know.
They literally,
No
you
matter-
just shitting them.
Oh,
It doesn't
no
matter.
matter what.
Case-
Hold on. No matter what, if either of them were neutral, it wouldn't have made a difference. Rob shit it, destroyed the toilet, and did not clean it up properly.
Exactly.
He did not clean her up properly and left it to somebody else.
Let's not forget the fact this wasn't the first time that this happened. Right?
Josh, I never used that one. I only used it once, mate, and I knew it was a bad shit, and I knew it was me. But I wasn't. That's the first time I used it.
What was the actual first time, Josh?
Nah, I'll be honest. There are multiple times where you used that toilet. Whether you destroyed it or not is another question. But you're telling me, right? You used to love going in there. You used to revel at the idea of going into the fresh, nice, clean toilet because ours was fucking bogging.
It was the guy that sits next to me, work. The old guy used to do it because he wanted to piss off the women, and I know for a fact he did it.
You were on
He'd
board
done
with it.
I wasn't bored because we had this whole argument in work, right? I think toilets should be genderless. I don't think there should be a male or female toilet, right? Because I think it's unfair that women come and say men use our toilet, right? But for a fact, and we all know this, right? When there's queues for the women's toilet, women will walk into the man's toilet, even with urinals, and use the toilet if they're desperate for the toilet.
What?
The amount of times I've been to concerts, I've been abroad, and I've been to places, if the women's toilet is a massive queue, they will openly walk into a man's toilet at
Like,
nightclubs.
not long ago, I went to a concert, right, and there was a queue for the women's toilet, and just drunk women just kept going into the men's.
And if a man had done that to a women's toilet, it would be fucking hell to
I know,
pay.
you couldn't
And
use
that
the
pisses me
urinal
off.
because,
There
you
was
know,
even-
you'd have your cock out.
We went to Reading like 5+ years ago. No, but like 3-ish years ago, something like that. And there was a males and females like shower where it was just loads of showers that was open, so you could see. Like if we were there, we'd all be stood next to each other showering, and there was a huge queue for the women's one, and there was a number of women who'd come in, just strip off and shower with. That for me, I was like, I'm not comfortable. I was with my partner at the time, and I was like, Imagine I stripped off and went into the women's one.
100% uproar, and that's what I get. Women have this massive thing about toilets. Men shouldn't be able to use our toilets, but when it comes to they're desperate for the toilets, they're okay to use a man's toilet. I'm sorry, but I've always had a thing weird about that. It's the same with cleaners as well. Like I don't understand. I can understand maybe a male cleaner been cleaning the things because they're private cubicles, but how can a female cleaner basically clean urinals in a bathroom when a man's going to the toilet? It makes no sense to me.
Can we go back a second, right? Can we take it back now, right? So I agree with Rob's statement that toilets should be genderless, especially in like an office environment, because they're literally just two toilets next to each other. So for that purposes, it makes sense. But at the same time, right, there were two men part of our office, right? One of these men, right, one of his infamous sayings was that 3 shits a day is the well-balanced way, right?
Yep.
This man, right, used to fucking decimate these toilets on a daily basis. And I'm not talking like just taking big shits. I'm talking blockages. I'm talking literally like something was wrong. Torpedoes were coming out of his ass.
Josh,
Right?
can you confirm, right? Can you confirm that about 3 foot?
6. It was
About 6 inches of a pipe had to be cut out.
That might have been before I started with Rob,
No,
but
you
I
were there.
wouldn't honestly.
You were there, mate. Right?
Oh, I do remember because it was out of service for like 4 or 5 days, right?
Because they had to cut out a section of pipe. It was 6 to 12 inches of solid shit in this pipe from us decimating the pipes. And the guy that was there, the plumber, right? And you can ask him work. The guy's going to say his name, but the plumber couldn't believe it. He tried to call a few of us in to look how solid this shit was in this pipe because he'd never seen anything in his life of working in plumbing. He'd never seen a shit-filled pipe. Like,
Can we take a moment here to appreciate the Lons just said that she thinks that you shouldn't be able to shit at work. What are we even saying?
Madness. That's absolutely.
What kind of lunacy are we discussing
Josh is
here?
probably aware of this, but when we used to work together in Tesco's, I used to go and poo, and I would take my time because I'm like pooing on company time.
Exactly.
Class. It was fucking class. You'd sit there for 20 minutes, have a poo, be like, yeah, and then go down and be like, going to lunch now. And then go have another.
Josh has got an amazing routine, right? He'll have his coffee in about 10:30, 11. He'll go for his shit, and you know he's going for a shit because bang, laptop down, screens off, and where's Josh? He's still on the shit, boys. That's 20 minutes, and this is daily.
I have a solid work shit,
and you know he's in there not having a shit. He's just watching TikTok. You 100% know he's sure he's watching TikTok, right? But can I just say before people think I'm the asshole from that other story, and Josh will back me up on this, that was the woman's fault that I had to use that toilet, because maybe we had the downstairs toilets, Josh. Maybe we had the downstairs toilets because it was an occupied building, and I would go down there and use it when it was another shit, and they were so insistent, they were scared somebody was going to come in and use the shittles down the stair. They made the landlord physically lock the toilets so there wasn't enough toilets. So they made it from having 4 shittles down to 2 shittles, so therefore it's their fault, correct?
Okay, the main issue here, Rob, right, is that you splattered the toilet and refused to clean it.
I tried.
That's what it all boils down to.
Also,
Rob, if you did it in the man's toilet, it's still a problem.
Exactly. I don't think that's what he grasps.
They locked 2 of the toilets because they were scared of people going into their spaces. So you went, you know what, fuck them, I'm going in the women's
I never done it because of that. I needed a shit, mate. But what I'm trying to say, the moral of the story is if the men's toilet had been unlocked down the stair, because they made the men's toilet down the stair get locked as well, I'd have shit down the stair in the men's toilet.
And you would have destroyed that one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then Josh would have rocked in afterwards and gone, Rob, you need to clean that up. Also, just quickly, I want to go back while he was explaining that. He was going, I closed my eyes and just wiped it.
I make no thing that I can tell you, right? And I mean this in the bottom of my heart, right? And Kate can back me up on this, right? If I look, right, it will trigger my health anxiety to a T, right? And I will have 2 or 3 years of crippling anxiety.
You know what I would have done? Got the toilet brush and just...
There was no toilet brush in that toilet, I don't think.
There should be some.
You know?
Toilet brush.
So
this is starting to sound less like Rob's fault, though. There was no toilet brush, boys.
I think there was, to be honest. There's one there now, put it that way, so...
Fuck you, Possum, mate.
Rob's a colossal...
Thank you, Possum.
No, wait a minute. Wait, Possum,
Thanks,
£19.99, mate. Where's the £100, you fucking prick? What are you fucking doing, mate?
For anyone who's you know... watched the Tavern but hasn't watched Rob's stuff, welcome to Big Baggy.
Yeah, Big Baggy.
Possum, mate. I give you the best emotes ever, mate. Yellow Pepe, and you don't even give us £100 to the Tavern, mate.
You're such a
Stan needs
scumbag.
a new keyboard. Stan needs a new headset. Like, come on, he's basically in a cage over here. Like,
Do I?
he's a slave. Like,
Do I need that?
We don't need to.
Wait a minute.
We don't need to go back to that.
We do need that.
Boys, right? Let's say you do a colossal shit in the toilet and you need to clean it. What the fuck do you do about the toilet brush?
There's a paper.
I mean, you do use paper.
I ain't fucking touching that.
I mean,
My
You've got to give
rule
me
of
skin
thumb,
for that,
right?
yeah. You've got to give me- Come on,
My
give me
rule of
skin.
thumb-
Yeah, come on, yes. Stan,
My rule of thumb in that-
like, you know.
go on, Josh.
Is that you clean everything until the point of where the water starts. I think that's a reasonable
I'd agree.
thing to do. I don't think anyone's
I'd literally,
expecting you to go
I
dip
would
diving
walk
like,
into
do you know
the
what I mean?
men's and grab that toilet brush back into the women's and then clean it with that.
Well, that's it,
ain't
innit?
going anywhere near it.
Exactly that. Like,
You clean it by flushing the toilet.
Just
take
piss
a
it
sock off
just
and do your
piss it
best.
off.
Oh yeah, just get up and pee it like there's a fly. Aim for the fly in it. That is satisfying though. Like when there's some poo there, you pee in it and it just like goes off. It's fucking satisfying. Like
You're just there cleaning someone else's
yeah.
shit. Like,
You're just like,
you-
have
do
that.
you-
It's like
right.
when there's like a fly or a bug or an urinal. You're like, yeah, have that. You
Do you
twat.
do you squeeze the tip of your cock? to
fucking
make
hell,
it-
possum.
Oh wait, I thought it was £200. You prick! What are you doing? You're doing knee balls. What does he say? I can't read what he says.
My ones are not saggy and derelict like yours. This is for all of SR, excluding Rob.
Oh, give me another 100
Thanks
for
for
me,
100,
Possum.
Possum.
Mate. You know what I'm
Thank you,
saying, bro?
Possum.
Thank you,
Really appreciate it,
Possum.
man.
Yeah, we're not ungrateful like Rob. Cheers, man.
Yeah,
Big
yeah,
guy.
we
Really
actually
appreciate
appreciate
it.
the amount of money you just sent in, dude. I
Oh, but this is the guy that made Glenn scream like a
Ridiculous.
bitch every time he shot an arrow. Like, come on.
wasn't screaming. It was like, every time he shot a fucking arrow.
But do you guys ever squeeze the top of your dick?
Yeah, to get the pee out.
Yeah, to make it go faster.
Oh,
do you
no.
squeeze it like make it?
No.
I'm the one.
What, like the end of a hose? Like you're trying to get it pressurized?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I've done
No.
that before. Make it
that doesn't
stronger.
make it go
No.
It
faster.
does. I can squeeze it.
No,
in
it
this
just
way.
it just makes the flow more violent.
Are you saying that you can't just make it go violent without touching it?
Oh, pull the foreskin back, Stan.
No,
right?
no,
Then I
no.
squeeze
No, no,
it
no.
down a
I
little
Can
bit.
you-
sit there and I squeeze.
Can you
and it
use
goes,
your abdominal muscles
you
to make
can-
yourself pee faster?
Yeah, you can make
Yeah, I
it.
can do that, but I
Okay.
make it even
Yeah.
like, do you know when you put a hose in like fine
Here's-
spread or
Here's
like,
the real question: after you finish peeing, do you just shake and walk away, or get some toilet paper and dab
That
at
is a
the
little
end?
bit of toilet
I don't
paper.
like toilet paper
I use
because
toilet
sometimes
paper
it
and dab
sticks.
the end.
Sometimes it
I
sticks.
don't
Yeah,
need Josh to
I'm with
answer
you.
because I know what he does because I've seen him do it. I've walked in on him in the toilet dabbing his cock before, and I was like, oops, wrong toilet. and then walked out.
I was just fucking some paper. I don't know. Like, no, that is what I do.
Yeah,
Lon
I
is
do as
a
well.
real hate about men's toilet habits and they're disgusting. Like,
All right, Miss doesn't shit outside.
I personally, I don't know. how
Never
different
pooed
it
in
is
public.
in
Just shit yourself
more
multiple
older
times.
Environment, but the boys' toys are awful. Mate, at my
Yeah, they are.
at my school, you try and go to the urinals.
Neural.
It's basically like you got to try and step on a small island. There's piss everywhere.
I mean, that's like that in clubs.
It's horrible.
You get used to it in clubs. You're wading through piss to go to the toilet.
it's absolutely
well, man,
awful.
That's how it goes.
women's toilets can be just as bad in nightclubs as
I've
far as
heard
I'm
they're
aware. Like,
worse.
No,
I've heard
they're
really
not.
bad.
Or are they surely?
I think
Like,
it
well,
depends.
Joe
There's not
always
gonna be
says to
piss
me
all over
they
the
are.
floor,
Joe always
right?
says to me they're quite bad with women being sick and all that sick all splattered over toilets and that.
yeah, but ours have got sick shit and piss. Like, so it's just not a great
Yeah, but I don't
combination,
think you
really.
have, you know,
You'd more likely
used tampons splattered against walls.
But you-
I've heard about that happening.
I hate you,
Mate,
Possum.
true gender equality was Sin City and Swansea, where both the toilets had sick shit and piss, and you couldn't even walk in them.
Oh,
awful.
The smell was horrendous. You'd open the door, go, "I'm old in it tonight." That's
I
how
find
bad
that-
it was there.
I
3
find-
floors of toilets.
if you've had sex in a nightclub bathroom, you disgusting. Even I think that's disgusting. Can you imagine having sex like women, hey, like that, like all the shit and the fucking piss and the sick around.
Does it go like Rob?
Wait, holding her ass, putting her up and down, do you know what I mean? Like,
Here's something. Have you ever shit in a club toilet on a night out?
no.
I think I have once.
I
was
did once.
Really desperate.
I have many times.
Oh my
I did it when we went out recently with Marlon and Johanna come down. I was so desperate. I needed to go to the toilet and I was sat there pooing away. And
on the up.
it's gross, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
You right, Rob?
It's just the way she said, like, when particularly they got nasty about their periods, and I'm like, what do they do? Like,
Well, I
all their
told you.
period stuff? Like,
No,
all their
there's literally
tampons
there's
lying?
ones where they take used tampons and slap them against the wall.
Shut up. They cannot
Yeah.
be real. That cannot
like,
be.
there's pictures of it.
Oh.
It's fucking gross. That's why I
Did
said
Rob
they're just as gross.
did Rob just look at someone in the office, aka Ebbs, as like validation?
No, and
No, he looked at me.
I genuinely never looked at Ebbs. No.
You looked like you looked off to the side. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
he
I
looked
looked
over
over
at me
there,
when
like-
I was talking to him.
is this true? Is this true?
All that's disgusting to me. Like,
All right, we'll move on from periods to the next Am I the Asshole? Which is, am I the asshole for refusing to babysit my grandchild due to it not being my biological grandkid?
Interesting.
This one's another one I've sent, which is interesting. Far spicier than the last tile. I was told to come here. My son was married to Emma. They got married and had a kid. Apparently, he had doubts about if he was the father and got a DNA test. He was not, but has been in the kid's life for 4 years, and his name is on the birth certificate, so he is legally responsible, and he still loves the kid. Now, my issue is that before they divorced, I was never allowed near the grandkid. I asked to babysit, but they both cited that my home was unsafe and they do not trust me with a baby. Even if I raised 4 kids, they wouldn't even bring the kid to family events, even like Christmas, events like Christmas. They did this with all. Mate, I'm fucking it. They wouldn't even bring the kid to family events like Christmas. They did this with all of his siblings. I know I am more country than them, but it hurt a lot. My other kids' relationships with him is strained because they believe he is looking down on them after he got a city job. Now, after the divorce, he has the kid almost 50% of the time, and he keeps asking me to babysit. I told him straight up that I will not babysit the kid since she is not my grandkid, and you made it clear I wasn't good enough to babysit when you thought she was your kid. Huge argument, and he thinks I'm awful. I just think he wants someone to parent due to not being able to rely on his ex-wife anymore. Am I the asshole? Which
it's this is quite a hard one. Like.
I think it's
they,
everybody.
They both suck, right? Because that's just spite, isn't it? I know they made you feel awful. It just depends. Like, do you care about this kid? Because that's the only person who suffers in this is the kid, right? So, yeah, they both suck. Fuck them both.
Yeah, I don't like this one, like, because I can the only person who losing out is the kid in it.
Well, yeah, the kid's the biggest.
What was the consensus on Reddit?
I don't know.
Oh.
You sent it to me.
I literally, right?
Yeah, you went. I didn't read these. These were popular.
I went, Sam, these aren't voted. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that was it. I was like, okay, I read that from Discord, and that was it. Yeah, I would assume that everybody sucks.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like, the kid is the one that suffers. Doesn't get to spend time with their what's their relation to him?
Well, it's
grandkid, right?
Yeah, well, except not really. Like, not biological.
Yeah, I know,
still
but
grandchild.
it's still your granddad or grandma. So yeah, spite punishing a kid for something they didn't do anything wrong. Yeah. They both suck.
I think I think everybody does personally. Rob's gonna sit there and go, yeah.
If Rob's agreeing with the rest, it's an obvious one.
No. I think when it's a story that involves kids, I think the only person losing out is the kid. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like I adopted Jensen, didn't I? So like, I can't imagine somebody like not wanting to see Jensen or like, you know, I mean, what if the house was unsafe? What if this and that?
I don't know what blood relation has to do to it. Why does something have to be blood related to you for you to start giving a fuck about it?
Exactly.
Preach, brother. Preach.
Woo!
That was fucking surprisingly wholesome.
Yeah. Fuck them both. Wholesome.
And we're back.
Consensus was not the asshole.
Wait, that's a fucking Reddit moment. Let's go.
That is a Reddit moment.
Woo, Reddit. We only care about spite and personal wrongdoing. Knobheads. Twats. Watch your grand semen grow up. Yeah, all men want to be like they're farmers, aren't they?
Yeah, can't wait
Just
to see my semen walking around.
Oh, I don't know why.
What? What? You don't like the thought of kids just being semen that have grown up?
I don't know, just the way it's worded just sounds weird. Like,
Rob, you're a problem,
semen boy. Like.
Rob, if you can't look at your poo, can you look at your semen?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you do it often, yeah?
I mean, I use a sock.
This is a bit random.
I use a sock.
This is random. Go on, Josh.
This is a bit random, but on the topic of like the semen stuff, did anyone see recently that Danny Dyer did like a world tour thing with his daughter, who's also called Danny Dyer?
Yeah, guy's a wanker.
And As part of what they did, they went to like I think it was an Italian place. They went and ate a delicacy, which was literally it was semen. It was just like it was like a slab of semen. I really don't understand the concept. But he literally turns to her and he said, and like, because she's like, oh, I really do want to try it, and he literally says something along the lines of, "Look, right, there's not many times where your dad says to you, eat the fucking semen, but this is one of those." And I was like, who even says that ever? Like, that is never anything you even identify.
It's Danny Dyer. The guy is a literal wanker. Like,
I love him. He's fucking class.
Malcolm. Good old Malcolm.
He's fucking class, mate. Why don't you like him?
I mean, because I think he's an absolute guy. I think he's a hard man. He's not a fucking hard man.
Are you?
Did anyone used to watch Celebrity Juice?
Yeah.
Where they used to take the piss out of him because his name was Malcolm, and like he genuinely was fuming.
Wait, really?
You've got to see some clips, right, where he's literally just getting called Malcolm for the entire program, and he's fucking livid. And he's like, at one point, he's like, "Nah, I'm just gonna walk off. You can't carry on calling me Malcolm," because that's his real name. Yeah. And he doesn't like it because he thinks it's like a obviously not a very manly name or whatever. Yeah. But it's so good. It's his reaction to it. He's such a turn.
Have you seen the one where he believes somebody's getting abducted by aliens, and he's like, going, "Oh my god, this is real," and he looks like a fucking turn up like an idiot. Like, he says that, "Oh my god, it's so real. I'm so convinced," after watching some guy obviously on a bit of fucking wood with an alien's head poking through the window. Do you know what I mean? "Oh, I'm a believer now." Like,
you don't like him, do you?
I hate Danny. No,
What's
because
he done to you?
he portrays a hard man, right? And he's not a hard man. He's soft as shit, and he like.
Maybe.
It's because Rob sees himself in him.
I've never. You have that one guy. I just don't like Danny Dyer. I think he's an absolute wanker. That's just me. I just don't like the guy at all.
Yeah, but did he do something to you?
He's basically a grown-up version of Jay from The In-Betweeners. Is 100% true. He plays the same persona all the time.
No, he's talking about you.
I think he's talking about Danny Dyer. He's talking about Danny Dyer.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just saying, like.
Oh, Christ.
I was talking about the Jay from The In-Betweeners before. Like, it's insane. Like, that guy's got typecast as Jay all the time. Like, you know, like, he's never plays anything different, does he? Like,
that doesn't surprise me.
Imagine living your life going bus wanker.
Oh, all the time. Somebody mentioned Florida Man. Have you ever done that? Where you look up Florida Man and then your date of birth?
No.
Yeah.
Because there's normally like a crazy story for it. There's like one for every single day where there's like.
Can I do hours?
You look up yours for your, like, whatever day, as in the date. It doesn't matter month, blah, blah, blah. Well, actually, no, I think it matters month.
Here we go.
But there's normally crazy stories about it.
South Florida man on LSD charged with tackling Disney World guard.
What is it? Whose name is that for?
What the fuck?
For his own, I guess.
You're not going to find any for me because my name is so unusual. Like.
No, it's not.
You don't put your name.
Oh.
You just put your date of birth.
I think it. I don't know if it's the year as well, or if it's just like.
Oh no, I think it's just the date or the day.
What's yours, Rob?
26th of July, 1987.
Think of the year, like. I can do these if you want, Sam, if it's easier.
Yeah, go for it.
So Rob's is Florida man washes ashore after trying to walk to New York in a bubble device. And there's literally a picture of this fucking weird looking bubble device. Like.
For £10,000, I will try that.
It's fine.
Anyone else?
Honestly. There's,
Sam, what's yours?
16th of September.
16th of September.
I can turn it 31 in 3 weeks.
Sam's is alleged Florida man foot sniffer arrested.
Yes.
Kaif.
Oh, he's not here.
What is Kaif's birthday?
Oh, fuck.
It's not December.
Stan, what's yours?
Mine's December 16th.
December 16th.
Same date.
Oh, here we go. Naked Florida man steals pickup truck from dealership, leads authorities on pursuit, police say. There's a picture of this guy bollock naked outside of a truck.
That sounds like something you would do.
I don't think it does.
100% would be.
Ben in the chat, what's yours?
Go on, Ben. Go on, big boy Ben. What is it? Rob is not 35. Rob is 35.
I just look older, mate.
Ah, you look younger. You look really young.
I wish. My grey hair's killing me at the moment. Like.
Oh, mate. Could be worse. It could be Glenn with his little tuft poking out the side.
What is wrong with Glenn's bit there? Like, what is that? Like,
it's odd, isn't it?
It's weird. Like, Glenn's tough. When was your birthday? Something in December. When's your day? What's your
29th of December.
29th, John.
So,
29th.
what's wrong with Glenn's tough?
No, I'm just saying it's tough.
You know, he
Tough.
said about his grey hair.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, it could be worse. You could have, like, Glenn's little grey tuft of hair there.
Oh, right, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes that happens to guys, doesn't it?
Kives is pretty tame. Florida man accused of setting his own truck on fire to give deputies something to do.
So
I did. I asked for Ben in the
boys.
chat. Oh, Lucas is. We'll do Lucas's. Or is this
6th of September. Oh, he's in like a week.
Hold on. We'll do Ben's first because he went first. 6th of January.
Florida man tries to conceal $1,000 cash and wrecked him.
So this is Ben's. Florida man finds out his dad helped deliver him at birth. Throws pizza at him. Police say.
I really want pizza now.
What the
So
fuck?
there's
What?
I
That's
don't know if you've seen
random.
it, but like if you look up the words Florida man and then your birthday, it'll tell you these. So we've just gone through everybody's one.
Butler, what's your
then
birthday, mate?
Last then is Lucas's, which is the hell. Naked Florida man starts house fire while baking cookies on a George Foreman grill.
How is that even
Oh, what the
possible?
fuck? Like,
Mate,
what
it's
the
class.
fuck?
I love that. Holy shit.
You'd have to forget about them until they set on fire.
Do Kate, she's the 26th of September.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
There's so many September
Oh
people.
shit! Here we go. Florida man arrested, caught on video using samurai sword to fight over a wheelbarrow.
Is that your one? Oh my god, type X's winning. You've got 23rd of October. Type it in, Josh.
I'm
till you
doing it,
see
doing it,
mate.
doing it.
Oh, I'm going.
20
Like, I'm trying not to
October,
laugh.
is
He's
it?
already laughing.
Mate, I can't.
Oh shit! Here we go. Florida, Florida man arrested for having sex with stuffed Olaf toy at Target.
That sounds like you.
What the fuck?
Oh, I think Lord put Dale's one in as well.
What is it?
Where is it? 11th of December.
Too.
I know. Surprising, isn't it? A lot of people
The hell?
shagged in either March or December.
Oh my word! Florida man arrested for DUI while a lemur and a wallaby escaped from the truck during the traffic stop.
Oh, Christ.
He's accidentally stolen a lemur and a wallaby. Like, that's class.
Did you do Kate's 26th of September?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the
2210.
That was one of the
22nd
one I went.
October.
22nd of October, Josh.
It's Butler.
What's this one?
Butler.
Butler.
Oh, this is going to be some deviant behavior.
Oh, here we go. Oh god, it gives me weird adverts sometimes.
I'd love to know if you put Scottish
some-
man
I'm on
instead
some
of Florida
back
man, like, see
ends.
what happens.
Right, here we go. Oh, this is quite a detailed one. Naked Florida man covered in Vaseline was caught running through a mall in southern Florida this afternoon. Florida man was screaming profanities and how Elizabeth Warren was going to tax him to death. The man proceeded to take a dump in a cash register before passing out in a store that sells mattresses. What the fucking... He's taking a dump in the cash register. I can't. Look it up. Right, I gotta pretty much go, guys. Are we wrapping this up? Or are we staying for a bit? Or...
Mate, we aren't topping that. I'm seeing stars from laughing. We ain't topping that. Oh my god, Rob is fucking dead.
Butler just said no
Dump in the
comment.
cash register.
Fucking hell.
Oh my god. Oh, I get my breath
What was he
back.
screaming about Elizabeth Warren?
There's somebody's taxing him.
Taxing him to death.
Taxing him to death.
I'm being taxed.
Well, with that, we're gonna end. Thank you for watching the Tavern. We've been me, Kaif, Rob, and Josh. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have a good night. And I can't fucking believe that last one. See ya.
Yeah.
Goodbye.